you look at the likes of Norway and you say, okay, there is Erling Haaland, there is Charlotte. But apart from these two, how many other Norwegians do you see maybe giving such? No.
Oscar Bob does try. Antonio Nusa in Leipzig is trying. He's doing
but
decently.
not. I feel Nigeria, Super Eagles, or call that Nigeria, have got. If we want to assemble all that we've got up front in the offense, we might even be ranked amongst one of the best countries in the world when it has to do with football. Just offensively alone, we want to assemble what we've got, because these days we are seeing too many offensive players hitting it really high. There's a guy in is that Monaco? Ileki Neha or we've also got a lot of them in the French league. So many of them. So I think it's one point of discussion where this particular period having too many attacks, and when we had the best team in quotes for Super Eagles in 1994. Compare, and let's see if in terms of
let's not go there. 0810951095109. We call it to check us as regards what we discussed PSG by me as we are getting ready to talk about Arsenal and Atletico Madrid. Good afternoon. Okay, Bola, please go ahead. Okay, Bola, I can do so, but please lower your radio set. Get it all back.
If you look at their knockout stage, Chelsea, Liverpool, when they come back to your home, they don't go like that. They like the match and win the match. I'm sure, and most of them they even win the match. They will not go out and play Bayern in such a way that Bayern will just come and get that goal as early as they got it in the French in the France. They will go hold back down, hold Bayern down, read the match. And if Bayern is not even careful, they might even edge back at Bayern.
Okay.
Bayern qualify against PSG.
Okay. Thanks so much for your thoughts this afternoon at Jibola. Do keep the calls coming in 0810-9510-951. But what if they shock you guys? You see a goalless match, but I don't think anybody is.
When was the last time Bayern played a goalless draw? Or even PSG?
Well, they could shock you. It could be a very low scoring game.
I doubt. That's why I'm still asking. When was the last time Bayern played a low-scoring game or a goalless draw? I think I can't really remember this season. In fact, Bayern has gotten to a point where they've
come back from about 2 goals down, about 5 or 6 times.
5 or 6 times. They just give you 2 goals and say, okay, let's play the game. And they come back, and at the end of the day, you see a 5-goal thriller, 3-2, or 6-goal thriller, 4-2, or thereabout. So it's definitely going to be goals galore. This time, where you know that it's one of whoever gets it or does it better wins it at the end of the day.
Okay, 0810-9510-951. Hello, caller.
Ajibola cover. Yeah, presenter. There's something I forget. I wanted to tell you people.
Okay, let's make it quick. Yeah.
If you look at PSG Bayern, do you notice that since this season started, Bayern have not considered more than 3 goals in a single match.
Yes.
Both their league, I think Arsenal scored them 3. I don't think that any team has scored Bayern up to 4 goals this season. I don't think so. I've tried to check it. I don't know if people have better information. I want to.
We'll confirm that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Jibola, for your thoughts there. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon. This sounds like Lucky from Abia State.
Yes, Lucky from Abia State. Yes, Bayern Munich PSG. My brother, Bayern will qualify. Yes, Bayern will qualify.
Okay.
Yes, Atletico Madrid and these people. Let him be there. Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Arsenal. Atletico will qualify. Yes, Atletico Madrid, Bayern, final Champions League. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Lucky from Abia State. Well, Ajibola, just confirm what you say. Yeah, PSG are the first side to score more than 3 goals against Bayern Munich this season. Bayern has not considered more than 3 goals in the game before they did play PSG in the first leg this season. 0810-9510-951. And now it's time to go.
A quick correction there. Bayern has actually considered more, called that 3 goals. Did you say
no,
more
than 3? More than 3.
They haven't considered.
No, we know mines. They came from 3 goals now to win 4-3.
4-3.
I know they've considered 3 goals this season, but not more than 3. Yeah.
Let's mine score 3, so they can score score. Mine did not score. They let mine.
No, they let Mainz believe that they could win.
That they could win. Only to crush their hopes.
Yes, that's quite evil. That is quite dastardly from Bayern Munich. 08109510951 08109510951. While for the SMS and WhatsApp to that one is 0701 933 9962 0701 933 9962. Let me see if I can take one from the WhatsApp portal before we head to talk about Arsenal and Atletico Madrid. And this one says, "Good afternoon, Sports Crew. The Arsenal and Atletico Madrid game is still open. Any team can win, but I think Arsenal is going to the final. Same thing in the game between PSG and Bayern Munich. Both teams will score. I also think Bayern Munich will play Arsenal in the final, and that's from Skillful Peru." And he's texting from Eche. And Ovie, it's time for you to come down heavily on Arsenal. 1-1 against Atletico Madrid. And a lot of people, it wasn't a boring game. Truth be told, it wasn't a boring game. There were chances. It had its own excitement. It had that feel of, a bit of a tight game, what you expect the Champions League semi-final to be like. But it had excitement. It had chances. It had controversies. Some were saying that was a penalty. The referee should not have overturned it. That was definitely a penalty. You look at Lookman's missed chances. Alvarez was so selfish in the first half that it became annoying at a point in time. Still had his own fair share of chances. Griezmann hitting the woodwork as well. Aoun Ademola Lookman creating that opportunity for the man as well. But, I mean, what was your take on that game? And how are you weighing each side's chances after what you saw from the first leg?
First off, the game was, as you said, exciting in its own way. Quite different from the Bayern and Paris Saint-Germain match, in which we saw goals pouring in like it was raining cats and dogs at the Parc des Princes. But this was kind of quiet. And then you have to look at the way both teams scored. I didn't expect, I would say, semi-final be ended 1-0. Both teams scoring a penalty and just ending it. In fact, I said the other team even still wanted a penalty to close out the game.
Call their name.
Arsenal still wanted a penalty to close out the game. I felt, it's the game. No matter how you win, as long as you win, that's how I've always felt. As long as you win, just win. No matter how you want to do it, do it. And Arsenal felt that was the way they could do it, and they tried their best. It just didn't work. It just didn't work out. You see, but when it came to chances, I felt in the second half. I think that was when we had more chances being tested out by both teams, because it came to the first half and it felt like they were just trying to get a feel of each other's defense and all, and it came into the second half and it felt like now we need to get a goal now. It felt a much more pressing matter. Arsenal were able to get the first goal in the 9 minutes of the first half, and then Atletico Madrid to getting their goal just after the second half, just a few minutes after the second half has started. So it came to chances, and the stats don't like when you have to look at the chances they made. Yes, they did shoot, but when you shoot, we have the ones that are going in, we have the ones that are being blocked, we have the ones that are going, and the rest. So the XG does not lie. The stars don't lie, because when you have to look at it, that's when you look at, this team really came close to scoring multiple goals. That's when you look at some teams and you see they're having an XG of 4, 5, and the other team is just having an XG of, let's say, 1.2 or 1.3, and they're able to convert that. That just shows you the precision that they have. And the other team that have that 5, 4, they just aren't able to convert their chances. But both teams, Atletico Madrid had an XG of 2.21. That means at least scored 2 goals into that match, and Arsenal had 1.51. At least 2 or still 1. But you look at the big chances they created. Atletico Madrid only had 4 shots on target. Arsenal only had 2. Atletico Madrid were the only people to hit the woodwork in that match. And you look at shots off target. Atletico had 8. Arsenal had 4. The big chances created for Atletico Madrid, so just Lookman's shots, and you would see Julian Alvarez. Those were the only people for Arsenal. Just Christian Mosquera that had the best chance
the best chance. Shot was saved by the goalkeeper. So these teams need to find a way to create chances. And for Atletico Madrid, all that they could not convert those two chances by Atletico by Ademola Lookman, I felt he should have put them at the back of the net. Those were goals that you look at Lookman and he said he has scored harder goals than this.
Yeah.
He has scored way tougher goals from way tougher angles than this. So you look at that one that was on the far left. He just balloned the ball right over the bar.
There was one in short straight.
One in short straight as well too. You just have to look at
about two. There's one that a lot of people felt if he had gone down, it was a penalty. The way Ben White held him, but he still was able to hold his balance and still made it quite easy for David Raya. There was one he shot with his left leg on the counter attack that was quite straight, and Raya carried that one away as well.
Yeah, then you just have to look at Griezmann. I think Griezmann had the best chance after getting that ball from Ademola Lookman. I was like, yes, this is a goal, and I don't know how he did it. It didn't even go on target. I just don't know how he did it with his left foot, and the ball just called off.
It looked like it was a wayward shot. He hit the woodwork.
I just don't know how he did it. To me, I felt that should have gone in, and I just don't know. Then you have to look at Simeone, you have to look at the rest, getting chances. You have to look at Koke and the rest, getting chances, but nothing could go in. You also have to give David Raya his flowers. The man has shown he's won maybe this season top 5 goalkeepers, or maybe even top 3 goalkeepers across the top 5 leagues with the kind of save he has been pulling off for Arsenal. And you just have to admit, maybe they would have been FA Cup, Carabao Cup champions right now if the man had been in that final. Or maybe if he had even played in the match against Southampton as well too. Maybe right now they will be in the finals. But creating chances is something that these both teams find it hard to do. I think Atletico Madrid, so far this season, I think they've done better when it comes to creating chances from open play than Arsenal, as we've seen. But even the corners are not working. We saw how Atletico Madrid shot out Arsenal in the corners, even set pieces to shut them out. Couldn't find any way to just break through as defense. So heading into the second half, the Emirates is going to be tougher for Atletico Madrid because you're going into the Emirates, you're going to Arsenal's home ground. We've seen how it's been hard for teams to get a win there, and Arsenal are still unbeaten in the UEFA Champions League. I saw a post this morning, and one Arsenal fan was like, if Arsenal win the UEFA Champions League unbeaten, they should give them a golden UEFA Champions League. And I was like, Arsenal fans, now they do yourself this thing. But the second leg is going to be much more tougher. I think we are going to see the same thing. We're not going to see as many goals. Highest I could see maybe 3 goals, and it could be possibly shared between both teams, or it could even go into penalties. We saw how still the game was against Sporting CP. Even though Arsenal got that first goal at Portugal, they came over to their home ground. It was still a tight game. Even for a Sporting CP that were much more attacking, much more the attacking side, it was the KJ counter between both teams. So you're now bringing Atletico Madrid to that. So KJ as well. I was watching that game and I was seeing Ademola Lookman tracking back to defend. Something that we hadn't even seen in Atletico Madrid, in Atalanta. So Ademola Lookman trading back, everyone was just playing defense, and it's not something you see. You don't think you see Ademola Lookman in a Nigerian jersey tracking back to be stopping balls in the inside the box. So the way both managers have trained their players and all is really showed so far during this first leg, as some have called it haram football and the rest, but it was still an enjoyable first leg in its own way. But I think during the second leg, I think it's just about who can finish the job. That's how a 2-leg tie works. You just have to find a way to finish the job. Whether you finish it in the first half and the first leg, and you can hold out at the second leg, or you finish it in the second leg using what you've done or the foundation you've already laid out during the first leg. And I don't know if both teams have laid out the foundation, but they do have something to hold on to coming into the second leg. It's a goalless tie. We could possibly maybe call it goalless since it's the ended in a 1-0 draw, and there is nothing like away goals. So we could call it maybe like a goalless tie. So you see who can get those goals, who has that firepower, and who has that mentality to still push to the end.
Okay, well, I'm coming over to our SARS, but before I do that, this message, I just have to take it. And he says, Femi Aziz is on fire. This boy is too good. He scored 2 goals today. Please, is there more, or are there more people switching to Nigeria? I want to know. You didn't state your name, but your number ends with 0020. Well, him and David also that plays for Derby County are the ones switching for now. They, according to reports, Sean is still meeting the likes of Michael Kayode, William Osula, and we're still
I
hearing
think
some names.
Promise.
Is it Progress or
Progress?
Prosper?
Yeah, Prosper.
Yeah,
Prosper.
in
There you go.
Angers in the French league.
Promise
But,
Prosper.
I've watched Femi Aziz before, and I'm watching him, and I'm just excited. I'm just enjoying myself. He reminds me a bit of Ilman in there, the way he just wants to, he just
Yeah.
carries the ball and just beats his man.
I think
So,
if we get these guys, the African Cup of Nations
Effortlessly.
would be, yeah, we might pick it up effortlessly, and it would just be like, what do I want to call it now? It would be like, a sorry package for missing out at the World Cup. You could maybe standing as that. One thing I would be very happy with is if Eric Chell could build a formidable side for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. A side that if Victor Osimhen is not there,
I mean, he's already doing that.
the world will still tremble. Yes, the world will still tremble.
He's already doing that, isn't he?
He is. Hopefully, let's see what happens with the Unity Cup. That will really show if Eric Chell has done something really, really good with the away from Victor Osimhen syndrome or Victor Osimhen's absentee syndrome that has always affected the Super Eagles of Nigeria, because that's where the main problem is, and that's where we need a solution. Not saying that Victor Osimhen is bad, but at least let's have a life away from Victor Osimhen, because if you look at the qualifiers for the World Cup, it was quite clear.
Well, Eric Chell will tell you the game against Egypt, the plays game against Egypt, 2 friendlies against Iran and Jordan, he didn't have Victor Osimhen on the pitch, and he was still able to get the necessary results.
But what I'm saying is that, for example, the qualifier, that's under Eric Chell. But other managers that couldn't find a way, that was what cost us our place in the FIFA World Cup, because Osimhen wasn't there. Period. He wasn't there. Ooh, that was a huge one there from Millwall. If he was of the games he wasn't there, Nigeria couldn't win.
Okay, now let's head back to Arsenal. And do you think that result was a clear reflection of the game? And also, was that a penalty? Was that a penalty?
I said it on Thursday here. The result, first of all, let me start with that. It was a clear reflection of the game. It was exactly what we were to expect. It was exactly what both teams were set up for. I wasn't expecting a high-scoring affair. I wasn't expecting too much of goals or too much of dribbles, too much of defense splitting passes, because both teams don't really play that kind or that way. But coming to the way the game was set up, yeah, definitely you know that Atletico Madrid was supposed to have the upper hand in that particular encounter. They're playing at the Riyadh Air Wanda Metropolitano, and that's a home ground, a place that they have slaughtered big names like Barcelona. Yeah, so you don't expect anything less coming from that particular center. So it was even a very, very determined performance, a very, very coordinated performance coming from Arsenal to have been able to at least keep it clean, come back to England with something to hold on to. Yes, I think for me, the return leg would not also be far away from the first leg. Whoever could get the opening goal in the return leg could go as far as winning that particular encounter, because, yeah, one goal in, it's going to take almost forever to get an equalizer, because the team that goes ahead will just want to keep it clean at the back. And Arsenal can do that. Paris Saint-Germain can also do that. This is the UEFA Champions League. Coming to the game, as it was settled by penalties, so we'll talk more about penalties. And you asked me if the incident between Hanko and Eberechi was a penalty. For me, I feel it was a penalty. That's for me, though. Any other person could disagree. But for me, I felt it was a penalty. Two things that made me feel it was a penalty was, number one, Eberechi got to the ball before Hanko. Eberechi redirected the ball. Eberechi looked like he was on motion, and he was stopped by a soft stamping coming from Hanko. The question I'm asking anyone is, was there a contact between Hanko and Eberechi? The truth was, yes, there was a contact. And if every other thing is brought in, every other thing I've stated is brought into some sort of view, is brought into contention, then I think it's quite clear. Eberechi had an intent on goal. He touched the ball first. He had the intent of moving into the 6-yard box. But Hanko's stamping had to stop him from going. A lot of persons will argue that, yeah, it's not enough to have impeded Eberechi from moving ahead. But we've seen situations, we've seen cases where penalties are given for just a very slight touch, and we always hear, was there a contact? So it always gets back to the fact that we ask ourselves, was there a contact? And there was a contact. So as far as there was a contact between Hanko and Eberechi, then it activates every other thing that it would have looked at to consider right there. It activates each and every other thing right there. And clearly, it's something that no one can actually argue about with all the facts put right there in front of you. Was that Mikel Arteta was that Mikel Arteta or Declan Rice? One of them after that game said that the roar from the crowd, the roar from the Atletico Madrid fans was one that got the referee changing his decision, because the referee was just a few poles, or would I call that poles? It was just I don't want to say a few meters. He was just very close to that 18-yard box. He saw everything clearly. It was pretty clear. He saw it clearly right there. And you could say, with the closeness of the referee to the incident, you could say the referee had a very, very robust take on that one. And that was one of the reasons why he did not hesitate to point to the penalty spot, indicating a penalty in that particular one. But all of a sudden, he was called by the video assistant referee. There were some discussions here and there, and at a point he had to go to the pitch side monitor to look at that and return to say it wasn't a penalty. It met with some sort of cold reaction, some sort of repulsive reaction from even Eberechi himself. Likewise, Mikel Arteta, and you could see clearly that it was huge. It was a huge pain on the side of Arsenal. Yeah, many persons will say, Arsenal score better goal. Now forget about scoring penalties or scoring through set pieces. But the truth is, these kicks were put into the game of football to make sure that the game is balanced.
That's why we have rules.
Yes, that's why we have rules. They were put there to make sure that the game is balanced. If you have the ability to explore or exploit any of them to your advantage, you do that. So whether Arsenal scores
through corner,
via set pieces, via penalties, is what they have trained themselves to do. It's not your duty to train yourself to stop it. We saw earlier on in the season, Arsenal were more or less like corner kicks were like lethal weapons to Arsenal. But as the season continued to age, we found out that teams now understudied the Arsenal corner tactics and were able to bring or raise solutions against it. And that's one of the reasons why these days Arsenal finds it very, very difficult to
get through set pieces.
Yes, get through set pieces. And it's the same thing. If you know you can't keep up with it, then forget about it. Arsenal have worked their way into probably getting to score with little set pieces given to them, with little kicks given to them. You also find a way to keep them away from scoring. So yeah, the game was settled by penalties, just basically because of the defensive setup and structure of both teams. The same thing will come up at the Emirates, but this time I think Arsenal will have a bit of the advantage because at the Emirates is a turf that they know about. Some of the Arsenal players found it difficult navigating the turf at the Wanda Metropolitano. It looked very slippery, not just to the Arsenal players, but even to the Athletic players. They found it difficult navigating at some point. They were very much careful not to maybe go too intense and fall off and create some sort of opening. At the beginning of the game, we saw Piero Hincapié fall a couple of times that also opened up some spaces for Atletico Madrid. Bukayo Saka came into the game. What greeted him first of all was a fall from the pitch, and he had to be very careful trying to keep his balance whenever the ball gets to him. So, but it's not going to be the same at the Emirates. The Emirates is Arsenal's ground. They know every centimeter there. They know how high the blade of grass is. So it will be an advantage right there to Arsenal. But I know that Atletico Madrid will come fighting. And at the end of the day, it will just go down to who is able to utilize the opportunities. Opportunities will come, but if you can clock it, then I think you have it at the end of the day. So that's exactly how it is. Almost a replica of whatever happened in the first leg will happen in the second leg, both for the Bayern PSG and for the Arsenal Atletico Madrid.
And Chikaso, what are you expecting in that second leg? What do you think is going to happen?
I think Arsenal will just have to do their possible best because it's not going to be very easy. It's not going to be very easy. We all know that the both teams played a very good football on Wednesday night. So we see that whenever Atletico Madrid had the ball, the Arsenal team, they all packed to the bus. And also same team as Atletico Madrid, whenever Arsenal have the ball, they also packed to the bus. And this was a very good play between the both teams. And also the penalties that we are giving, it was all a fair game. And the one that was cancelled by the ref, I think that should have been a penalty for Arsenal because Eberechi got the ball first. He made a contact with the ball and then he was stopped by Hanko. But, well, the VAR, they had their reason for calling the ref to, cancel the penalty. So I think the both teams play well. And for me, I think Arsenal is going to take this lead to the finals because they have this confidence that when they play against Arsenal and the Emirates Stadium, they have this confidence at winning at home, and it's not going to be very, very easy for Atletico Madrid to play Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. And also, Mikel Arteta said that they are going to try their best to make sure that they do very, very, very well at the Emirates Stadium. So let's just see how it goes. But I think Arsenal is going to the finals. That's for me. I don't know for any other person, but I just think they will have to do their best to get to the finals.
Okay, and Ovie called that game second leg.
1-0 to 1.
In favor of?
I favor Arsenal.
So after all the hyping of Atletico Madrid.
I don't understand.
So after the hyping of Atletico.
The Atletico Madrid might just get it.
Because I hype them, that does not mean they will advance. For me, I believe it's going to be Arsenal that are going to advance. Hopefully, Atletico Madrid prove me wrong. But I think it's Arsenal going to advance.
No, they didn't prove it wrong. The game is still Arsenal. The game is still Arsenal. They still have a chance. It's just a 1-1 draw, so they might still go there and still pull up a wonder.
Anasas.
I think Arsenal will go through. It's not going to be a high-scoring encounter. Arsenal will go through.
Definitely, nobody's expecting it to be high-scoring.
It might get down to penalties, and if it gets down to penalties, I think David Raya will have the better of Yano Black in that particular one, and Arsenal will go through. But anyhow it wants to go, Arsenal goes through to the final. It could be a 1-0 victory at the end of the day, or even against the penalty, Arsenal will have or find a way to get themselves into the final of this season's UEFA Champions League.
Okay, so the guys have given their thoughts and predictions of what to expect as regards the second leg of the UEFA Champions League semi-final ties. That is the game between, the game between PSG and Bayern Munich, as well as Arsenal and Atletico Madrid. So what are your own thoughts, lovely listeners? 0810-9510-951, 0810-951-0951. Arsenal fans, what's your take? Was that a penalty? Do you think there is a lot of confidence or a lot of positives you can actually take from the first leg against Atletico Madrid? Hello, caller, good afternoon.
Hello. No. Now Maguire do on attack, not the Saliba. What of my brother this person Odogu?
Your name first, please. Name and location.
Okay.
Okay, Oni, great to have you on the show. Where are you calling from, please?
Yeah. I just listen on show. They see Arsenal is going to be without penal or this thing. My brother, the only thing what we tell you, football no play like that. You don't play like that because the two sides they good. Yes, they good. You go surprise say one person go feel score and cock the leg. Where we say the other one go play everything at the end, nothing. So I don't see to give Arsenal or Atletico just winning like that because that match go be too tough for the two sides. Because now 1-1 and they know be saying away goal again. Score 1 or score 2-1 or let's go to penalty. So now say it. That's what me I say. So I know fit give anyone winning now. Okay, that day on Tuesday. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for your thoughts this afternoon. When you do well to keep the calls coming in, phone line is open 0810951091. For the SMS and WhatsApp portal, that one is 0701-933-9962. And this one from the WhatsApp portal says, good afternoon, a miracle from PH. I see PSG qualifying, and for Arsenal in their last 8 matches in all competitions, they haven't scored more than a single goal. In that time, they have lost 4 matches, drawn 2, and won 2. So I don't even see them knocking Atletico Madrid out. ATM will win via penalties and go through. Atletico will be third time lucky. The UCL is there as well. They have lost, or they did lose in 2014 and 2016 to UC City rivals Real Madrid. Yeah, the first one was 4-1 after extra time. The last one was 5-4 on penalties. Juan Fran. Yeah, if memory serves me right, Torres Juan Fran, the man that missed the decisive or missed the penalty that saw Real Madrid claim the title in 2016. 0810-9510951 and 0701-933-9962. The second one is the SMS and WhatsApp portal. So send your thoughts there and we will take them during the show. And from there, let's head over to talk about the whole who will be our next coach, Bruhaha, as regards Chelsea and then Real Madrid. Yes, this is your Today Sports Live on your Premium Talk News and Sports Radio station. Today, 95.1 FM. Still listening to the voice of Henry Ogugu. I have Chikasin here, Osas and Ovie as well in the studio with me. And let's head over to start off with Chelsea. Well, it's not news that Liam Rosinho has been sacked. Yeah, the man has been sacked as the head coach of the side, Chelsea. And in that period, they've gone on to make it to the final of the FA Cup, defeating Leeds by a goal to nothing after Callum McFarlane took over on interim basis till the end of the season. But after the man... Oh, Levante has actually equalized. So after the man does step down at the end of the season, there's that question mark as regards who will step in to fill the role and void at Chelsea. Now, Sars was telling me something about the back, Frank Lampard. I was like, nah, the man is coming to the Premier League with Coventry next season. I don't think Chelsea will want to go down that road again. I don't think...
He was actually very pragmatic with his statement. He was actually very cautious with his statement. He did talk about that. That was on Monday, where he said that he actually confessed his admirations for Chelsea. But he said, for now, he wants to concentrate with Coventry. But see, if they call Laming will come back.
Okay, but first of all, would that be a right decision? The other names have been leaked, other names have been seriously mentioned. Anthony Raiola's name has been mentioned.
That's what I was trying to say.
Marco Silva's name has been mentioned. Xabi Alonso's name has been mentioned. Now, let's do this. Let's leave out Lampard first. We'll come
even Cesc
Fabregas' name has been mentioned as well. Let's put Lampard aside and let's focus on this one. Let's start off. Which of these ones or these men do you think would be the best fit for Chelsea?
I think for Chelsea right now, if I was going to be the one to pick a coach for them, maybe for the fact that they decide to put their destinies in my hands, I would want to pick an Anthony Iraola.
Sporting director has.
I want to pick an Anthony Iraola because Iraola has got the English Premier League experience right there with Bournemouth.
But Marco Silva has it.
Marco Silva also, but I think I'll put an Anthony ahead of a Marco Silva in terms of his play tactics, in terms of how he has managed Bournemouth over the years since his presence there. It's one thing that Chelsea would want to really fancy at this point. I'm not saying Marco Silva isn't a great coach. Yes, he is a great coach, but I think on that one, Anthony is just a bit above him and would actually suit the playing style of Chelsea, as well as the personnel that they have there for Chelsea, the young squad. It's Anthony Iraola who will be able to handle that young squad and turn them into something lethal. So what he did with Antoine Semenyo at some point, turning him into a goal-getting machine. We also saw what he did with Clive at some point also. So it's Anthony Iraola for me. Krupi also. So you can see that he's that man that could hold these young guys, turn Pedro Neto into something what's more than he has been. Woo! A beauty it was there from Villarreal as they have made it 2-1 from outside the 18-yard box. Coiler coming in through there. The goalkeeper did stretch to the best of his abilities, but at this point, they say, no day. That's exactly how it is. Alfredo Mollero getting the goal there for Villarreal ahead of Levante as they sit back again to get all 3 points from this particular encounter right there. That's the Spanish La Liga. When you want to see beautiful football, just take a peep into the Spanish La Liga. You get it as hot and spicy as it does come through. But back to what I was saying, talking about Anthony Iraola. So I think he's that man. He's definitely going to turn or bring out the best from Estaval. We have Estaval. We've got other young guys there, even Kopama. This is just the man that could do that, bring out the best in them. Yes, that's for me. If I was to choose, it's going to be Anthony Iraola. For Cesc Fabregas is in that mix, but I think he's going to just go short of it because he's not had that English Premier League experience as a manager, doing pretty well, beautifully well for Como 1907. But you know that coming to the English Premier League...
But that experience a benchmark. You look at Arne Slot. Yes, he struggled this season, but he came in, won the Premier League immediately. You look at what Pep came in and he's done no Premier League experience, just one season.
He came in, but that first season was Pep. What the Pep actually
he didn't necessarily have the players he needed to.
That's what I'm saying. The English Premier League is that way.
Conte came in his first season, he won the league. You can go on and mention names. Jose Mourinho came in his first season, won the league. Manuel Pellegrini came in, won the league. So you can go on and mention coaches that already or that have come in and have done something fantastic in the Premier League.
Yes, coaches have actually come in to do it. But you know, normally when you're bringing a coach to England, you are expecting that he would have to acclimatize with the conditions there. For Cesc Fabregas, he has played there, but he has not coached there. So he will still need that time. Is Chelsea having that time to give to
what sort of time will he need? Because okay, you did mention the fact he has played, and not just he just played in the Premier League. He played for two top clubs in the Premier League.
Yes,
Arsenal and Chelsea.
But that's playing, not coaching. And these days, the English Premier League has even switched from what it used to be during the days of Pellegrini, during the days of Jose Mourinho, during the days of what's his name, Antonio Conte. It's actually different now. You can see that the competition level has risen. Back then, you could only call a hand. That was the period where we had what we called Big Four, Big Six at most. During the Sir Alex Ferguson's period, you had the Big Four. During the Mourinho, Antonio Conte period, you said Big Six. But now we're having almost Big 10 because Newcastle can pull a threat at any point. Aston Villa can do the same. Nottingham Forest these days can just punch above their weight and find themselves into a big position to do big things. That's exactly what the English Premier League is at this point in time. So any manager coming in will just need one or two playing periods to set himself in place. I'm asking, is Chelsea having that time to give any manager right now to see any manager who Chelsea appoints? You must hit the ground running because this season, if you don't, they will chop your neck off again on the chopping board. That's Chelsea for you. If you want to look at Arne Slot, Arne Slot had greener pastures prepared for him in the presence of his enemies. That's done by Johan Klopp. He had a team spread out very well for him. He only had to come in and just glide on that smooth tide that was set there by Johan Klopp. That's one of the reasons why when the Johan Klopp effect was probably removed. You found that, and also found it difficult letting his presence to be felt right there at Liverpool. So any manager coming in have that experience. Don't come and say I need 3 months. Don't worry, calm down. The game, the season is just beginning. What Chelsea needs right now is a manager that will come and from the very first 5 games of the season, they'll act like Arsenal, just go on top of the table and sit there. Imagine if Arsenal did not go on top of the table as early as possible. I think Arsenal will be battling for how to qualify for the UEFA Champions League. But if Chelsea, through a manager that comes in, can quickly get on top of the table and sit there, consolidate for the first 10 matches, then you can start talking about, Chelsea are title contenders for this season, for the incoming season.
Okay, well, just quick updates. Ipswich are automatically booked to the place in the Premier League next season. They did defeat QPR, Queen's Park Rangers, by 3-0. So all of them here is hard work from you. It's the playoff at the end of the day. And sadly for Wrexham, for those like me that were looking for Wrexham to make it 6 or 5 straight promotions, the first side to ever do that in English football history, well, they couldn't. The 2-draw against Middlesbrough was not enough as they just finished outside playoff zone 7th as Hull City booked the last playoff spot in the Championship. So for the playoff teams from the Championship, the teams that are vying to qualify for the Premier League through the playoff, we do have Millwall, Southampton, Middlesbrough, and Hull City. And for the 2 automatically promoted sides, it's Coventry, who are back for the first time since 2001. Yeah, 2001, if memory serves me right. And Ipswich, who come back after 1 season down. Kieran McKenna. Maybe that should be another name we should put on the list as a potential coach.
Be very careful how you put all this. I came from
but
the Championship.
he was one of the names that was put there before Maresca.
Be very careful how you put all of this. I came from the Championship exploit coaches into Chelsea. The last one.
But they're different from any of these names I mentioned because you might say McKenna has Premier League experience, and you might want to say the advantage maybe someone like Fabregas could have is that he's in Como, who have better or who have decent funding that can compete based on the level of the Serie A with the likes of Juve, Bologna, Lazio, Roma. I don't want to put Inter and AC at least. Let me put those clubs that look to qualify for the Champions League week in, week out. Then you also look at Andoni Raiola. Maybe if he had the resources Raiola had, he will probably do better. But let's go to another man. Let's mention another name. Benjamin Mina is here with us in the studio. Benjamin, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Henry. Good afternoon to the guys in the studio. Good to be here to talk sports. Well, I heard you when you talk about maybe we're talking about Chelsea. Well, good day. Let's not go into that.
No, definitely we're going into that. And I want to ask one name when people mention him. Every time when the name or this debate has been going on, every Chelsea fan or everybody I know, every neutral, it's like, Marco Silva. I mean, you look at what the man has done with Fulham, limited resources, and he's doing very well. Did well with Watford.
Yeah.
Wasn't the best of times with Everton. We all know the sort of position or period that was for Everton. And what it was like. Literally any coach will go there. And I mean, Don Carlo, after 1 season, ran away from Everton. He managed and helped them finish 8th. Then ran and went to Real Madrid to win another Champions League trophy title. But why is it? It just feels like everybody's running away from that name, or it just feels like no one is giving that man a chance to probably be the one to turn the fortunes around for Chelsea.
Well, I think more respect should be put alongside the name of Marco Silva because of what he's done. You know, I think he had a decent time with Watford. To be told, yeah, he had a decent time with Watford. Yeah, and then went to Everton, like you said, wasn't really good with Everton. And Everton, aside needing your coaching experience, I think you need the grace of God to actually make you a better manager in Everton because of the way Everton is, the kind of players Everton want to get, the kind of way Everton are playing, actually. So all these things, I feel contributed to the man that maybe he wasn't successful enough at Everton. But looking at it, at Fulham. Yeah, this is the most recent one. This is the recent one, where everybody's glaring for everybody to see, for the Premier League fans to see. The man has been very decent, with Fulham. Like you said, limited resources. He doesn't have the luxury of signing lots of players with huge money and all that. But he's done well with the little that he has got. And then what's his name now? He brought in the likes of Chukwueze on loan, a couple of players on loan. But the man has been doing very well with those players. Even if many Nigerians will say Fulham at this point said they cannot cover that 24 million euros to get Chukwueze. But looking at Fulham, they're 10th on the table, not very far off. They are just 2 points away from the 6th position. So the man is doing well for me, and lots of Chelsea fans to be sentimental because maybe because he's coming from a smaller team, smaller team perspective. Yeah, talking from that angle, they've had coaches come from the small teams and haven't really done well. You could argue that Enzo Maresca coming from Leicester had let's say I wouldn't say an average performance with Chelsea. The man had a good performance with Chelsea. That's talking about Enzo Maresca. Talking about what's his name now? Excuse me, the man that was just sacked. That's Liam Rosino coming from Strasbourg. Will you compare Strasbourg to Fulham? No, if I would have to, I think no. Fulham is one of those teams. It's a traditional team in England, not just this season. Last season they've been there, in England for a very long time. The likes of Fulham and Blackburn Fulham, West Ham. These are traditional Everton. These are traditional Premier League teams. So I feel that most Chelsea fans or neutrals are actually looking at Marco Silva to say, okay, because he's coming from a smaller team, there are most of these coaches, when you place them, yeah, they can do well in the smaller team, but when you place them with more responsibilities in a bigger team, I think most of them get to fumble, with their performances, maybe the pressure of coaching a big team. For the smaller team, it's just avoid relegation at some point. Then, if you want to advance, see how you can qualify also either the Europa Conference League. From there you can actually look at West Ham under David Moyes. Avoided relegation, won the Conference League. Where are they now? They're actually fighting relegation. That's a smaller team, but putting Marco Silva in the big team, maybe the fear is that he might go there and then the weight of the team, the pressure that comes with playing for it. Coaching a top team, might actually weigh him down. So I feel that's the reason why the Chelsea faithfuls are actually looking at him and to say, no, we don't want this kind of manager. Maybe we want a bigger manager that could come, and then a manager like the Atletico Madrid manager Diego Simeone, that has this charisma, character that could discipline these players because they are young. The team is young, and then bringing in a young manager, just like we've seen in the Enzo Maresca and Liam Rosino. The Chelsea faithful feels that is not what they want at this point in time. If you want to bring out the best out of these players, go for an experienced coach that has been coaching a team for a very long time, that has been in managerial job for a very long time and coaching a top team. And looking at it, Atletico Madrid is a top team. They've been in around Champions League final. They've won the La Liga, and they have a coach that has been there with them for more than, if I'm not mistaken, more than a decade.
About 13 years.
Yeah, so they feel that yes, they can actually get a good manager like that, not the likes of Marco Silva, that have not tested the European scene before, and the pressure that comes with coaching the big team. So I feel that's the reason why the Chelsea faithful are not looking towards this direction. Otherwise, I feel he's a decent manager. Just like what's his name, the former Brighton coach, now the Tottenham coach,
Roberto De
Zerbi came from Brighton. He came from Brighton. He did very well from Brighton, and Chelsea too. I think they are still sinking in that nightmare of what's his name, Graham Potter, still a young coach coaching an average team in the Premier League, now given the responsibility of coaching a big team and how he has fumbled. So the past records are not good with Chelsea and younger teams. If that younger manager, if you want to look at it, back then, Andres Villas-Boas was part of it, was sacked. A young manager, what's his name now, the guy that won the Champions League for them, Roberto Di Matteo, was sacked. So I feel that Chelsea and young managers, the love story is not as good as that of Romeo and Juliet. So they're actually looking for a romantic story that could, put them side by side with performance, good result performance. But at this point in time, they're looking at it and say, Marco Silva is not the Romeo and we can't be his Juliet. So at that point, he should go look for, or he should rather stick with Fulham, a better love story for Marco Silva than that of Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet was a fantastic love story. The Montagues and Capulets, they both died at the end. So I don't think that's
the more reason why I said he should stick with Fulham. That should be his better Romeo, and he should be the Juliet. So they all die together, not coming to Chelsea. Okay. Chelsea is not a good. It's not going to be that Romeo and Juliet for him.
But I mean, you look at it. It sort of in a way expresses the frustration of a lot of Chelsea fans because they feel, okay, see the names were being linked with Andoni Iraola. What's his name now? Marco Silva, Cesc Fabregas, Frank Lampard, Xabi Alonso. Okay, my coach Xabi Alonso some slack. He won the Bundesliga, almost won the treble, won the Bundesliga, won the DFB Pokal, and yeah, almost won the treble. Just like Ademola Lookman was his kryptonite that day, his Waterloo that day. But a lot of Chelsea fans are, in a way, airing their frustration like that. See the names are being linked to it. I mean, can't we do better? I think they got better coaches now. But do you think there are actually bigger and better coaches that are available, or this is currently what is available? Because we have a set of younger, dynamic managers that are coming through. See what Van Company is doing in Bayern Munich today. I mean, Van Company is from Burnley. He came from Burnley, Anderlecht to Burnley, and he's in Bayern Munich, giving us one of the best football we've seen in a while. But do you think that is the case? The older generation gradually just shifting away on, probably none is available. Luis Enrique is in PSG at this point in time. Pep is with Man City at this point in time. Man could even leave, and Enzo Maresca could step in by the looks of things. Some are saying, but maybe Deschamps could be available or not. Deschamps will be available after the World Cup. That's if he wants or decides he wants to go back and coach club football again. He hasn't done that for a while. The last time was Marseille. But I mean, do you think they can actually do better than these names at this point in time? Is there more experience than we feel that Chelsea could actually go for at this point in time, or be willing to work with current conditions?
Are you putting Xavi and Hernandez in that mix?
The thing is that there isn't much. You look at Xavi Hernandez. I see.
He's a La Liga winner. I'll give him
Xavi
this.
Hernandez is still part of the new
Young
fresh
generation. I wanted to
generation.
mention Lagos back. Like, he's still part of the. He's still a young coach.
See.
I think he has won the Bundesliga, but he's still a young coach.
It's not going to be Jose Mourinho, even with the links to Real Madrid.
Madrid.
The man has not even won a title in the last 11 years. Last title was the UEFA Conference League he won with Roma. And
Is he up to 11 years now? He can't be up
yes,
to-
up to 11. I think
No.
It's up to, it should be up to 11 years.
No.
So he won with Roma. A major title.
No, he's not up
I
to.
think he's up to 11. He left Roma like 4 or 5 years ago.
4 5 years. And I'm talking about them. Maybe I'm looking at the titles. Maybe I'm talking about to be league titles. He's won. That was the last one he won. And since then, it's been a long time for all this old gen. Carlo Ancelotti has gone over to Brazil. Pep might be looking at. We're hearing reports linking him to Italy. Who else is there? Who was
Deschamps.
Deschamps. We all know he's not going to be the coach of France. Yes, he's going to be sitting. But would the man want to come to club football? That's something. Club doesn't look like he's going to be coming back to club football.
He's
And it's not going to be Chelsea. There's no way. Even if he comes back, it's Chelsea that he goes to. I don't think he's even going to come to any Premier League team after the legacy he has already built with Liverpool. So who? Of course, it's going to be these new fresh coaches, the Anslot, the Javi, the Shares, Fabregas, and the rest. Those are the ones that you can call. And that you just have to take a chance with them. That's it. And or you just bank on those ones that at least have been able to do something for themselves, have been able to at least show that they do know the work, a little achievement. Look at the likes of Xabi Alonso, Bundesliga title, DFB Pokal, a UEFA Europa League final, Cesc Fabregas. The man has spent 3 years in Como, 3 or 4 years in Como now, and they are pushing for an European spot in the UEFA Champions League. That's good that you want to talk about with the man, how he's been able to build that team. Who else again? Enzo Maresca as well too. Champion with Leicester. Came over to Chelsea, the Club World Cup, and the UEFA Conference League. Man has those achievements to actually back himself for. Xavi Hernandez as well too. The La Liga title, the Copa. I think he won the Copa. He won the Spanish Super Cup. He also won the UEFA Champions League too. So these are the only coaches. Juanago's man.
Xavi Hernandez.
Yeah, Xavi Hernandez.
Not as a coach. He hasn't won the Champions League.
Yeah, he hasn't won the Champions League as a coach. All right, so just the Spanish La Liga, but I think he won it back to back, and the La Liga title he won it back to back. So these are the only coaches that I say at least have achievements to their names that you want to call over to Chelsea. But achievements is not just the only thing that you need. You need someone that can tie these players down. You look at Xabi Alonso in Real Madrid. That was good. He was doing fantastically well, better than what Abiola is doing. But how to tie down the players, that was the problem. That management, and that is what you see. That's where the old heads have that specialty, that advantage in. They know how to control these players. The likes of Mourinho, the likes of Pep, the likes of Carlo. They just know how to tie these players down. Look at Enzo Maresca. Although the man had 2 trophies at Chelsea, he still was able to control these players well. Well, you see Cesc and Como, he's grown with them. He's basically like their father there. So he's already built that respect. But what happened when he come back to a big club? We saw it worked with Xabi Alonso. Moved over from Bayer Leverkusen to Real Madrid, and it was just a different ball game. So how would you be able to handle these guys, the big guys? So it's just what is available, the new gen. That's what's available, and you have to either trust them and hope it works, or you go for the ones that at least have an achievement. He was coming into Maresca coming to Chelsea at least with a title to him in the Championship. Same thing with Frank Lampard now. So the man finally has the achievement to his name now, winning a title, an English title now with Coventry.
Yeah.
So any team in the Premier League that wants to take him, they know that okay, at least he knows how to win trophies. He knows how to battle it out to the end, and he's got that achievement to his name. But achievement is one thing, and controlling, being a manager, being a coach is one thing. And for now, Chelsea need to find a way they can get both. That's the problem. They need a manager that has those achievements and the manager that can get both. And the only 2 names that come to my head, or 3, I'm looking at Xabi. Okay, yeah, almost 4. Xabi Hernandez, Xabi Alonso, Enzo Maresca again, and Eric Ten Hag.
You said Xavi Hernandez.
Yeah, Xabi Hernandez and Eric Ten Hag.
Eric
Ten Hag.
Eric Ten Hag. Okay, I'm glad you read that. Because let me come over to you. Which of these managers that we mentioned is the best fit for Chelsea?
I think Xabi Alonso should be the best manager for Chelsea currently now.
Based on his pedigree or what?
Yes, because you can see how he transformed so many players at Bayern Leverkusen, and how he also won the German Bundesliga, and how he also put in effort in the European So if he can like transfer Florian Wirtz and Jeremy Frimpong, those some of his wing backs to offensive players, I think he can do also the same thing at Chelsea. And this is a coach that has control over his team, so I think he should be the best thing for Chelsea.
Okay, Xavi Alonso, according to Chelsea fans, what's your take? Who would you want to see in the dugout next season for your side? As a lot of names are being named: Adoni Raiola, Marco Silva, Xavi Alonso. There is a small matter of says Fabregas being linked as well. Frank Lampard has been linked as well. 0810-9510-951. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon. This sounds like Lucky.
Yes, Lucky from Majesty.
Please go ahead.
My brother, I would like this Xavi Alonso to come in. Yes, Xavi Alonso, I would like my brother Frank Lampard and the Fabregas. We know former Chelsea players. Xavi Alonso is an experienced coach. I would like him to come in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your thoughts, dear Lucky. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mamaze, calling from Port Harcourt.
Okay, Ramazi, please go ahead.
My brother, see, we don't talk about many coaches. The charity begins at home. Abi?
Yeah. Yes, charity begins at home.
Yes, charity begins at home. The question now is, the owners of Chelsea, are they going to do their normal thing by telling coach what to do and all this thing? Maybe we'll start from that, because maybe to bring coach is the problem. He go give the man free hand. He go give him what he need. Okay, the question I want to ask again: how many sporting directors there for Chelsea now? How many sporting directors there for Chelsea now? It's supposed to be one, but how many there now? So all these things are the problem with Chelsea they get. Not be saying coach or no coach. For me, talking about coach now, call the players, sit together with them for one table, round table, or one table, or any type of table. Discuss with them which players coach wanna need, which coach wanna. Not go bring somebody when you feel like you won't give because of the money they loan, you won't give them like 6 years or 7 years contract before you go talk about renewing the system. Talking about Lampard, my dear, me as a fan, I don't need Lampard to come back there. I don't need Lampard to come back there, because all these Lampard don't take like 2 times they are harming. Nothing repeat. Yes, they try for the first he know do, and when Chelsea they good now when these people where they give condition who to play, who not to play, they put this person, no put this person. Now when go do am, so the mention now the owners need to sit up, come out hand from coach, and they listen to coach, give coach what he wants before you will talk about coach now. So now what I see there.
Okay, thank you so much for your thoughts on Wamazi. 0810-9510951, 0810-9510951. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Name and location. Okay, please go ahead.
You see, the problem that they have is not this player. We are talking about the particular coach that will come and then gather this player and then give them that winning mentality. If a player falls a victim and is not playing according to yours and you bench him, just look at what Carrick is doing at Manchester United now. You understand? When Tottenham money is there, people are criticizing him, but when you look at Manchester United today, because they were playing to his own formation, that is why he's winning games. That is exactly what Chelsea wants. But I really need Marco Silva to come to Chelsea. Let him get his ability, whether it will work according to why he's playing other clubs. You understand? Some small things that he's coaching, he's giving all that benefit of doubt that he's saying and he's doing his best. But I want him to come to Chelsea, and then that is benefit if he's that good coach that is coaching others small club. Like, for me, I'm not praying for Chelsea to grow up. Me, I'm praying for Chelsea downfall. Even for their training, I'm praying for their downfall. You understand? I want them to lose every time. I want Chelsea to lose.
Okay.
So that is my prayer. But nevertheless, all things being conditions that we are talking about what kind of coach we want Chelsea to sign. Like I'm clamoring for Marco Silva.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your thoughts there. I will keep keep the calls coming in. The phone line is open for the SMS and WhatsApp portal. It's there as well. The number is 0701 933 9962. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is James calling from Rumoko.
Please come and give me your name.
James calling from Rumoko.
Okay, James, please go ahead.
Actually, yeah, that's what I think we what they need is consistency.
Okay.
And to know when it matters the most. Because most of these coaches you bring in, not that they are not good, but when the team doesn't have that consistency to rely on the coach, so Chelsea is a team that doesn't rely on the coach. They rely on their players and on their players. That's why you can see them bring that level to 10 players, because they are not relying on the coach. And let me take Arsenal for example. Arsenal rely on the coach, not players. So if you are going to sign a coach, you have to let the players know that this coach you are signing, they ought to rely on him. Because now when you are not relying on a coach, the play what suits you. And Chelsea is not kind of player that they allow coach to sign. You can see the board going to sign players, or the owner of the club just see a player, nice player, and sign the player. So they don't rely on coach. That's why they don't have consistency in their team.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Hello? Okay, looks like we lost James there. James, do you want to call back? Maybe network knocking you out there. Hello, good afternoon.
Sorry, I called back.
Okay, please go ahead.
This thing, let's say, when you look at it before, when you see it here, maybe the person will tell you. Yes, maybe the person will tell you. They don't look at it to be all this buying and selling, the first team, the players buying and selling them. If you want to buy a player for Chelsea, you go for this team. Go look for anyone to buy to bring them up. So what is the Chelsea before you could see somebody like Lampard, see Today, all these places would be so once you see themselves, they will catch you. And these players who Chelsea, they buy before, not all these 16 years, 18 years, 19 for first team. No, now, need to change. Something need to change. Even though you want to them, bring a step, then bring some more this 2019 mix with them. Not to bring you want to say somebody knows people and say, come, where they do they wrong. Before you know, take out that movie that they move it from this season. This match, people don't know that. No, now. Something needs to change. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much for your thoughts. Let's keep the calls coming in. Phone line is open. 08109510951. SMS and WhatsApp also is there as well. 0701 933 996. From the SMS portal, this one says, I think that if Chelsea is serious, they would sign Iraola, but Xavi is the perfect children coach for the boys. They will sign next. You didn't state your name, but your number ends with 3908. Thank you so much for your thoughts. And over to the WhatsApp also, and this one from NS from Woji. He says, Chelsea don't have what it takes to attract quality managers. You just want to say, see the kind of players Chelsea have, and you expect a big name coach to come and coach Chelsea. The truth is, Chelsea is now with the same level with West Ham and Brentford. I knew when we sacked Rosinha, not Rosemary, please, Rosinha, and we will go for relegation and mid-table, and that's from NS from Woji. And this one says, still Miracle from PH. He says, since 1990 in every World Cup, the UCL is either won by an Italian side or a Spanish side, so the record will continue, and there's only one Italian or Spanish side left, Atletico Madrid. Okay, thank you so much, Miracle, for that quick one. And this one says, good afternoon, sports crew. The Arsenal Atletico Madrid game is still open. Any team can win, but I think Arsenal is going to the final. Same thing in the game. Oh, sorry, Skillful Pro wrote your message from earlier. This one says, good afternoon, sports crew. I would advise Chelsea to go for Xavi. He will deliver them, and that's from Skillful Peru from Ichi. Now, guys, is it about the coach? Is it about the coach, or is it more about the system that's currently in Chelsea? Because it just looks like the board has so much control. The coach doesn't have the same player transfers, and at the end of the day, it's almost like they're also interfering in his match day selections and his tactical input and approach to games.
Yeah, it's about the setup. Yeah, we've talked about this before now. So many persons have also talked about it. That's the reason why when I selected my coach, I selected my coach for Chelsea based on the fact that he's one that could develop the players, because that's where I really want to look at as one of the major duties of the manager. I'll call that the coach this time for Chelsea. But it's one thing that the entire Chelsea setup must understand. They must give whoever comes into the ranks there the freedom to lead the side. The coach is supposed to lead the tactical standings of the club right there before he got on the pitch and also on the pitch of play. That should be one thing that should be let to be. The interference has become too much. Not just Chelsea these days. We've seen it in many other English Premiership sites. That was one of the reasons why what's his name, the former Manchester United coach, Amorim was sacked. It was basically one of the reasons for that. So I think these days, teams should let managers do their job of managing the team and reduce interference, because already so much of what has been done in Chelsea with the kind of players that were signed. Chelsea wasn't really viewed as a team that had so much of rookies. But these days we see there's no big name, no one to direct. Back in the days when we used to see Chelsea when they came into a European winning side, we could see strong men. We call them this side of the world. We call them Ishikaraka, strong men, strong head. Yes, that's how it was back then in Chelsea. You could see the likes of Frank Lampard. You could see Michel Ballack at some point, Michael Essien at some point. You go to the defense line, you see the likes of John Terry, you see the likes of Guy Cahill, you see the likes of Ashley Cole, you see the
Claude Makalele,
the one who went to Real Madrid, pairing for one of the best centre-back, what's his name, Ricardo Carvalho. In that mix, you go to the goalkeeping department, you see like Peter Cech. These are not in the leagues of Kopama, in the leagues of Extraval is a talent. But back then, Estava would have been picking up their boots and learning the trade until he comes into the mix. So you can see that Chelsea has actually changed a lot from back in those days into the period now. No thanks to the fact that Todd Boehly and his Blue Co and the rest came with some sort of different ideology when it has to do with signing of players. So they must understand that they would now have to give the reins to a well-experienced manager to now turn these young gold mines that they have gotten into what could possibly be world beaters for a long period of time. They should let the manager do his job. So I think it's down to a misplaced priority when it has to do with the Chelsea's hierarchy. Yes, misplaced priority. That's one of the reasons. So that's that structural damage that they need to correct. It's not about the manager. When they correct it, managers will come in and just fuse in so seamlessly and do their job. Enzo Maresca, I repeat, is not a bad manager. Neither is he a bad coach. It's just that he wasn't allowed to do what...
I mean, he's been seen as a front runner to replace Pep.
Yes. Now watch Enzo Maresca when he comes into Manchester City to replace Pep. You will now see that Enzo Maresca is a title winning. After all, he even showed it in Chelsea with the back and forth and limited freedom given to him. He was able to put 2 quality silverwares on the table before leaving the UEFA Conference League and the Club World Cup. So let this man do what they... This is the same thing. He just flashed on our screens now, talking about Nuno Espirito Santos. That was what he felt at Nottingham Forest under Marinakis, Evangelos Marinakis. And you could say it's basically the same thing managers have been seeing in Chelsea. So I think Chelsea needs to correct that structure. Because when they correct that structure, so even the players will understand that they cannot sabotage managers. These days, why do they sabotage managers? They feel, if we get you looking bad, the board, you go on the wrong side of the board and you get fired. When the players see that the board is strongly and vividly behind the manager because they believe in the project that he has in hand, is either the player conforms or you now start hearing them telling you, putting in for transfer requests to leave, than ganging up and trying to throw away the manager, which is one thing that these days we get to see with Chelsea so frequently. So I think correcting that structure before bringing in a manager, they should look for a manager who has the ability to grow players and turn players from what they are into what you want them to be. But when he comes in, allow him to do that. Don't interfere.
Okay, so do not interfere. 08109510951 for the SMS and WhatsApp. So that one is 0701-933-996. So on this one from Ibe from Ajib Estate, he says, good afternoon. As a Chelsea fan, I will go with Xabi Alonso. I love what he did at Bayern Leverkusen. And before going to Madrid, of course, he did well. His sacking at Madrid was solely because of the Mbappe dispute. So I want him. Thank you so much for your thoughts, dear Ibe. Do keep the thoughts coming in. Phone line is open. The SMS and WhatsApp also is there as well. Okay, let's hear from the scholar. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Name and location.
This is Simon from Shola.
Okay, go ahead.
I think when you guys were mentioning it, I'm not a Chelsea fan.
Okay.
We are all football fans. And I've been able to observe some coaches in England. And I think I've only said this to people like when we go together and watch football. And I told them that what you're talking about this and I've always been coming on. And that's Oliver Glasner of
Crystal Palace. Do you think he will fit Chelsea up and work with the board? What's the frustration he's facing at Palace with Steve Parish?
Yeah, I'm coming there right now. So what I'm trying to say, the only problem here is what you guys mentioned at the beginning, which is the issue regarding the board trying to control the coach or tell the coach what to do. And I don't think that can match success. So, but if Chelsea can allow the coach to do what they want, that's why Cadella wants to go to the club. He's presenting Cadella and wants to go to the
Luis Enrique.
Whenever they come to the club, they present a situation whereby they will tell you that in their contract they have the full control of the ball of the locker room, control who goes in, who goes out, and whatever happens on the pitch is their responsibility. And that's why whenever they go to the club, they succeed because that's the only way coach can actually succeed in things. They are allowed to do what they want and how to project the team. And that's another thing that will get it behind the match like that. That's just people that are saying you can't work, you cannot, your work can't flow. But if you give normal work to do here, people that are interfering in things that you're supposed to do by yourself, it cannot flow. Just can't flow.
Okay.
So you can allow Oliver Glasner. To me, my best shot is that you like looking at the coach. I think that matter can count.
Okay, thanks so much for your thoughts. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay,
Obuna, please go ahead.
I think one of the easiest points on Chelsea fans is about I'm concerned with the way they are dealing with coach. I mean, lack of patience in terms of what they want to get. And they just want very quick returns. So one of the easiest ways to get to be without a job is to accept a coaching job with Chelsea because I think they don't have patience. Yes, certain things might not be the way you want it. Like in the case of if you are looking at them and judging other coaches again, they might be making a mistake. I'm a Liverpool fan, but I tell you for a fact the trophy and I feel what won in the first season. I still see it. I might be wrong. I see it as a club trophy because he just inherited what club left. The road with it and got the result. So most times you allow coaches to build the team and get the result. Look at when club took over Liverpool. He had his game plan and he agreed with the club. When he building the team, when he can fight for a trophy. And other things I'm sure he agreed and he gave Liverpool the Premier League, gave them Champions League, and he built a better team machine. So if Chelsea, the only way Chelsea can work is that the board and the handler, the management team, will agree that whichever coach they are bringing now, they should discuss who fits into what they are looking for. So when the person comes, then they give the person patient and let the players also look at the way of obeying their boss. But I think most times the player rancor or the agreement with the coaches, most times the club owners tend to play along. So let Chelsea just have a roadmap. It might not be in the interim. If you look at Spain as a national team, you remember when Nigeria won Spain World Cup and those areas. Yeah. They had a roadmap to build the team. My Spain is like so whichever coaches that come plays along. So they say, what do we want on the long term? So you build a long-term game, not something every short time you change the coach. Now easier, it's like just for the pitch, like I'm pitching coach every now and then. In a season, how many coaches have they played with? They are not even anywhere around the Champions League at the moment. Even they will hope they can. So they should have a map. This is what we want to achieve in the next 3 years. These guys are young. Which coach will develop this guy? Like the one of the guys was saying, the one more coach.
Yeah,
These guys will, but if they will allow him. But until they board on their own, agree to Alex, there might be bad results once in a while when you want to try a new thing. So except it's zero and you accept whatever comes while you are building on the long term. Then every other thing they'll do is just for nothing. Because I believe those coaches also, once they start them, I'm sure that they're close in their contract or require you to part away with a lot of money. So they should test themselves. What can we do? The bomb one coach will work. They are in terms of handling players. Okay, Alonso, what will he give? Will he suit into what they want? So look at the long term and you also consider the fans in whatever they're doing. Because at this time in Nigeria, to be a Chelsea fan and be a Nigerian is a bit difficult. So let them consider the fans as well in what they are doing. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thanks so much for your thoughts there. Now the phone line is still open for his calling and your thoughts as we are getting ready to talk about Manchester United and also Real Madrid, your own managerial issues. But some will say, does United have any managerial issue? Yes, they do. Carrick is not a substantive head coach. And technically, what the man has done, past times, we'll probably see the man being handed a contract by now. We'll probably have signed a permanent deal by now. But it seems like the Ineos group is a bit skeptical. But some of the opinion believe that against Liverpool tomorrow, get a victory, and that probably secures it. Or do you think that Ineos are still hell-bent on getting that experience man to go to help handle the situation, feeling that next season it won't be the same story for Michael Carrick? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Name and location.
Daniel,
okay, Daniel, please go ahead.
My brother, everybody are talking about the manager, the coach, at the end time opinion. I want to furnish it. To me, the church is not the manager of the coach, not the boss. Which I the owner himself. Now, even though the boss is expecting that he gets the church, he will not do what the owner. Before you be the manager, so under the matter, you everything like that. How can I be manager before, but you don't have to buy it out? And then I expect you to do it. You go there, go to the match, you come for you, you can't come for you. Even though that's the now, this issue for you, just to me that the player that also, you are talking about the good player. If you want to marry your husband, the people about the coach, everybody that having one of player before, the time of coach are not now you have no one. But the issue they have, just the owner of the coach, something like this. Well, if you ask how to are not, or if are not to contact the boss, but that was the issue that have a game, okay, and the first you know the player you said. So this most one I handle the ball. It's not to make the coach to check my career, I press for you to bring coach to coach. You don't need to go on the phone. So that the people are some of the people will tell them that these people are too more than. If you person apart, they will not do anything. They need the coach, the same thing like this. They need coach, they don't need the younger coach like this. Without not coach, not all coach and not coach they do it. They are not coach to ask, but it's not effective. Or like this, it's not coach. We are not effective. You can wait and make it go, make it sense. And now the coach sign the club, and now the coach put it. And now you people that you have your own, they need the record. If the coach did not do anything, I give you everything you want, but you not do it, they can do it. Everything will change the coach more than 4 times in the season. Everything.
Okay, thank you so much for your thoughts there. Do keep calls coming in. The number on the phone line is still open for you to do that. Chickerson, let me head over to you. Manchester United. Does Carrick or should Carrick keep this job if he beats Liverpool tomorrow? Or should he? Let's remove the fact he beats Liverpool tomorrow. Do you think Michael Carrick should get this job or should get the United job?
I think he should get the United job because the players are getting familiar with him and his tactics, and he knows what he's doing so far. Because let's just say, as the strategies that have been set up for him by Ruben Amorim, he's following the steps of Ruben Amorim. But if only the managing director, like the board, do not involve their self in his kind of managing act, then he should keep the job because he has been doing great ever since he took over from Ruben Amorim as an interim coach. So I think he should keep the job because he knows the player well than any other coach coming in, because if there should be any other coach coming in to manage these players, that coach will start strategizing, start planning, start bringing up new amendments to the team, trying to set up different tactics for the players. But since the players has already been working with Michael Carrick and they have understood him, they have become familiar with him, I think he should keep the job because he knows the player and the players knows him well.
Asas, go for the big names like Ineos was talking about, or stick with Carrick? I mean, is there any rationale when you look at both parts? First of all, which is the best, and what do you think is the rationale behind both sides if they decide to make any of the decisions?
You mean going for the big name or sticking with
Michael Carrick?
See, the rationale here is, number one, Manchester United needs a big name like Sir Alex Ferguson to bring back that belief. That's one. You need a big name like Michael. Usula go there for Newcastle United. The Nigerian is also firing, making it very glaring that he needs to be courted for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yeah, another one again on the table. Richard has got a lot on his hands these days. So back to what I was saying, Henry, I think Manchester United needs a manager with a huge pedigree, just like Alex Ferguson, to bring back the belief to the side. Forget about what's going on with Michael Carrick. Carrick has not faced the heat. We have been looking at what he has done. Yeah, take nothing away from him. He's been brilliant. Give that to the fact that the players believe in him, the players understand and love his pattern of governance. But it goes beyond that, because at this point, the question is if, peradventure, the going gets tough and the tough not yet ready to get going, what happens? That's the question. What happens? He has not faced the heat yet. He has not faced something that could topple him yet. Remember, he's not on the continent. It's going to be a totally different experience for Manchester United when they get on the continent, as they could qualify for the UEFA Champions League for next season. That's when you see the strain come into Michael Carrick's pattern. He has to be flipping formations, flipping tactics, week, midweek, weekend. And that's when the toll will come on him. So that, I believe, is what Ineos is looking at and saying, most likely, this man has not really, he's giving us what you ordered versus what you got. We've not actually seen the best of him in a situation that would be very, very demanding and tearing at the same time. So they are trying to be very careful with their selection, because once you give him a 3-year, 4-year contract and anything goes wrong, either you stick with him or if you let him go, it's also going to be adding to the huge payouts, losses. So these are some of the things I believe. So the rationale there is they want to really be rest assured. Let's see what Michael Carrick can do against Liverpool. Let's see if he can actually go as far as it could take him, qualifying for the UEFA Champions League in grand style and finishing at the top of the table in grand. Let's see also, I don't know if the delay would last until that point. Let's see what his suggestions would be on recruitment, what he would be wanting for next season.
Not true. Introducing the Big Bull Holographic Seal Tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull Rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull Rice. Tasty rice nourished you.
Go for gold, Terra Gold Cube, the amazing seasoning cube. So when you're cooking your delicious meals, don't compromise. Go for gold. Go for gold.
Rich, consistent taste for cooking mouth-watering soups, stews, and jollof. Choose wisely. Choose Gold. Terra Gold Seasoning Cube.
1 cube. Endless possibilities. Terra Gold.
How do we make our cooking come alive, oh? Terra. For that tasty meal where you like, oh. Terra. I mean, you want cook food to impress, oh. Terra. Hey, Terra.
Whether it's jollof or na stew, even for porridge or spaghetti, cook to impress with Pepper Terra.
Yeah, Pepper Terra.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
Yes, welcome back to the show. This is your Today Sports Live on your premium talk news and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM, and you're still listening to the voice of Harry Google. I have Ovie Wallace, Osas Ihiwin, Benjamin Mina, and Chikasin here with me in the studio as we are getting ready to round off as regards everything European football. But Benjamin, let me come over to you. We're talking about Michael Carrick before we went for that commercial break, and talks new, more experienced season manager, the man should continue. But there are a lot of people are saying that the dynamics will be different next season. It's not like this season where you play one game in 7 days. I mean, after all, they waited a month before they finally played and lost to what was the team they lost to again? Was that Leeds United? Yeah, they actually waited. You won't get that next season. Definitely, he'll be in the Champions League. The league will be there. The Carabao Cup will be there. You expect United to go further in the Carabao Cup next season. The FA Cup will also be there. And the man will now be involved in the transfers. that if he will be involved or have a say if he's the one that's given the job. Casemiro most likely will be leaving at the end of the season. Changes will happen. The man will want to implement more of his own style of having more of his own imprint on the team. Now, do you think with all this, we might not necessarily see what we're seeing currently next season? The dynamics and everything will be different because of all these changes.
Well, definitely, I think next season is going to be difficult for Manchester United because looking at it, they are not currently in any competition since Michael Carrick came in. They are not playing the FA Cup, they're not playing the Carabao Cup, they're not playing the Champions League, just the Premier League. So I feel that it's easy for him to look at the players, train injury free, because you're playing in just one competition. But next season, like you said, if he's had the hem of affairs of Manchester United, then it's definitely going to be a lot, for the man because he's going to be dealing with European competitions, So he has qualified for Europe already. Looking at it, he just needs 3 points. If he gets to beat Liverpool tomorrow, then he's automatically qualified United for the Champions League next season. So he's going to be playing in the Champions League next season, Europa League. Champions League, Premier League. What's it called? The Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. So it makes life more difficult as a United manager because he's going to be dealing with other transfers, senior heads like the likes of Casemiro believing Manchester United. So it's a lot to deal with. When you get to play 3 games in a week. Let's say 2 games in a week. Midweek, you get to play midweek Champions League, and then you come to the league and play. Then the next day, Sunday, let's say you have an FA Cup game or a Carabao Cup game, it becomes difficult. You have to, and then players, injuries start coming in, fatigue starts setting in. So I feel it's going to be more difficult. But, Michael Carrick is proving that he could handle the pressure that comes with coaching United. But lots of people are saying it's because the man is not in any other competition apart from the Premier League. And it should. But I feel it's a bit difficult when you're not playing. Yeah, the players are resting, but you need match fitness, right? To just like the game against Leeds United, displayed. Even as much as others are playing, it helps when you're playing at some point because of the match fitness you're getting. United did not play for close to a month, 3 weeks, and then they played against Leeds and they lost. So I feel that when you play those games, it does help your fitness level in terms of competing. Yeah, you could be training, but training is not as good as a competitive match. But what I expected United to do was to play at least some friendly games, closed door friendly games, to shape in the players before that time. But they didn't do it, and we saw the result. So I feel that next season is going to be very, very difficult for what's his name now, Michael Carrick. Or might be difficult if I have to put that so it doesn't look as if I'm planning doom for the man, but it might be very difficult because of the challenges of playing in other leagues, other competitions. And you look at it, the United teams, in as much as they're going to be getting players next season, it's same players that have been playing for United. Look at the front, it's definitely going to be those 3. You look at Bruno Fernandes playing week in, week out, apart from the fact when he's injured. Looking at the goalkeeper, same thing. So I feel majority of the players will be playing week in, week out next season and in those competitions. So I feel injury will set up at some point. When injuries start coming in or when fatigue starts setting in, how do you get to handle the team? That's where an experienced manager in the way they get to rotate the team and the way they get to, in as much as they're rotating the team, results are still coming in and they're still, doing what they need to do the right way. So I feel that next season is going to be difficult for Michael Carrick because of those competitions that the man will be playing in.
Okay, so, Carrick, should he stay? Or do you think you want a more experienced manager for Manchester United next season? 0701 933 9962 0701 933 9962. That's for the SMS and WhatsApp portal. You can send your thoughts there. While for the phone line, the number is 0810 951 0951 0810 951 0951. That is for the phone line. You can call in, but we do have to go pay some bills. And when we do come back, we'll get to talk more about Manchester United and also go to Real Madrid. Well, one man is being linked with a return to the Blaugrana. So we will be looking at all that here on today's Sports Live on your premium talk news and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM. Let's go pay some bills. We'll be right back.
create party for mouth. Waiting they cost, they let you rejoice. Terra Cubes.
Terra Seasoning Cube turns your meals into a masterpiece.
Unwrap joy, unleash taste. Hey, come cook with Terra Cubes. Come cook with Terra.
Mom's love is pure. She died. Mom's special jollof. It's a smile on your face. Mom's yummy fries. Cheers you up. Mom's tasty stew. Nourishes the family. Golden Terra oil. Tasty. Golden Terra oil. Nourishing. Golden Terra oil. Golden Terra soya oil.
Golden Terra Oil helps mom pour her love in the tasty, nourishing meals she cooks for her family. Golden Terra Oil, pour pure love.
Waiting they create party for mouth. Waiting they cost, they let you rejoice. Terra Cubes.
Terra Seasoning Cube turns your meals into a masterpiece.
Unwrap joy, unleash taste. Hey, come cook with Terra Cubes. Come cook with Terra.
Good tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Golden Terra Smart Balance Oil. Smart Balance Rice Bran Oil is rich in gamma oryzanol. Several studies suggest that gamma oryzanol may contribute to the reduction of bad cholesterol. Golden Terra Smart Balance Oil.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
Yes, welcome back to the show. This is your Today Sports Live on your premium talk news and sports radio station today, 95.1 FM. And we were talking about Manchester United and if Michael Carrick should be given the job on a permanent basis or someone more experienced. Now, if we're looking at someone more experienced, which name comes to mind? Because we had this discussion a bit with Chelsea when we just talked about Chelsea. And you're not asking which name of you, which name actually comes to mind? Because there aren't many available, or you still think maybe it's one of these other younger coaches. Then if not, why not give Carrick the chance?
For Manchester United, for me, Carrick has done a fantastic job, as you want to see, and giving him that third place. The man has only lost one match so far since he's taking charge there. He's going to give top managers. It would be nice to see him in cup competitions and as well, but he's just playing the Premier League. It's not like he has any other competitions to play, and also he doesn't know how tough it's going to be when you have multiple competitions and you have to manage your players as well. And if he's in charge next season, you're going to look at how to manage players during those competitions, the champions, especially when Manchester United, because they will make the Champions League. You're managing for the Champions League, the Europa, the FA Cup and the other domestic cups as well. Also the Premier League again, that marathon. So he might not be the manager for that, but you see, he's been a good interim manager. So far, he might give him the job and you see he might not do well. So why not give someone that's experienced that marathon and knows how to manage players well? And you have to look at the young managers, and I think the closest so far that we're getting from reports is Zidane, is Iraola, that we're getting reports as to being the closest to joining Manchester United. You have to get the other young managers as well to around the league and who could be making that spot to Manchester United. If Michael Carrick does get the job, it's not also bad, but Manchester United ready for the consequences. You have to look at the last time an interim manager took that spot, that was Ole Gunnar. The man had a good first season with the team. I think he finished second in the Premier League, but after that, nothing to show for it. The best was an Europa League final appearance with Manchester United. That was the best the man could produce with that squad, and since then Manchester United just haven't found the right man for the job since then. So who gets this spot for Michael Carrick if not him? Iraola looking like the big name. The man has done well in Bournemouth, and possibly so far they might even qualify for a spot in Europe, depending on how things go in the European League and how well they do in the last few games of the season. They might qualify for spot in Europe. I think that's also a big achievement, especially how the man has built this team the last 2-3 years since he's come to Bournemouth. And you also have to look at which other manager will fit the place, that which other manager will be given those reins. Xabi Alonso, another name popping up too. I know people were first talking about Zinedine Zidane when before he got to that job for France, but there are many names to call. There are many coaches that can that could come into that team and handle them well. I do not know, but then again, you have to say about Ratcliffe and the rest of the board. How can they handle the manager as well too? Are they going to give him the free reins to do what he wants? So that's one of the problems with Ruben Amorim and the board of Manchester United coming out talking about how he wasn't treated, or he wants to be treated like a manager and not a coach. That was the agreement. And also the new person coming in, what is he? Is he a coach? Is he a manager? Does he give you free range to choose what he wants to do, as he likes to handle the team and the transfers, the players that he wants, the way he wants to? Or is it going to be a 50-50 affair? Is it going to be, okay, just handle things on the pitch? We'll bring in the players, we'll do the scouting, and also it's a lot of things that could factor into how Manchester United progress or do well next season. But for the issue of being a manager, I think leave it with the new young guys. Michael Carrick is also maybe one of them coming in. But I think I'll put faith in someone that has played in or managed multiple competitions than put my faith in Michael Carrick, that his only job is just to see them survive in the English Premier League.
Okay. Henry, talking about experience, I know you talked about an experienced manager that could step in. Don't forget that Luis Enrique, the way things are looking at Paris Saint-Germain, the man may not stay put at Paris Saint-Germain. Maybe after this season, depending on how things pan out at the UEFA Champions League. That is one name that could find his way to Manchester United to replace Michael Carrick. That's if they don't have faith in Michael Carrick and give the job to him. Thomas Tuchel is also there. You could also, there could be a possibility switching from the English national team to Manchester United will not be too much of a tax for.
But Tuchel extended his contract to the Euros.
Yes, I know. But sometimes these things are bought out. We've seen it happen. Roberto Martinez is also there. So these are all managers that have got huge experience. Mauricio Pochettino is also there. So some of these managers have got, when we're looking at experienced managers, these are some of the experienced managers, definitely bigger than whatever Michael Carrick would hold when it has to do with experience. These managers have won laurels for various clubs that they've taken charge of. They've also done it pretty well over the years and could offer Manchester United that huge experience, because I think the experience is needed these days. We are hearing Chelsea cry out for it. Mikel Obi did cry out. He said, leave this schoolboy coaching something that you get and get somebody who is experienced enough to be someone that can, his aura alone can in fact bend the hands of any board not to interfere. You can't bring in Carlo Ancelotti into your team and you want to tell him who to sign and who not to sign. In fact, you see that bombastic side eye he always gives. When he gives it to you, you will calm down. So I think that's what Manchester United needs at this point. That is, if they don't keep faith in Michael Carrick. But Carrick is doing the job. It depends. I'm not in their circle to know exactly how it is, but from where I am, I think it will definitely be harder next season when Carrick gets to try his hands on various competitions and tournaments, not just the English Premier League.
Okay, and let's go to the WhatsApp and SMS portal. And this one from the WhatsApp portal says, "Good afternoon. Manchester United should allow Carrick to finish what he started. I believe he will do well, and that's from Skillful Perro from Eche. Let's take this call. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Ogbonna.
This is Bona calling back.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I think similar to the issue. Let Man U go and call. Let them go and bring back Alex Ferguson if they can. Let them bring back Ferguson because that's the only person I know. Until they have put their mind that they will see other coaches, that they are not Alex Ferguson and they are not two persons that the same, then they can make a headway. But until then, and let these other these are former players who are pundits and predict, let them keep quiet and allow the coaches, whichever they decide to work. Because they are pundits and not coaches. They so have the experience. Let them come and take this job. Not every day a coach comes, you distract them with your media criticism and you do a lot of things. And at the end of the day, that are not performing. You want them out immediately. So if they must succeed, let them just do that. Whichever coach they want, they will give him the support that they are giving Alex Ferguson. And believe me, nobody gets so much support without doing well. So let them zero their mind and look at who they are getting. Yes, even if they go from championship, let them zero their mind that they will work and get it right. I'm sure Alex Ferguson didn't win any league in his first season. So let them give to these other guys. Look at Atletico Madrid. They have kept faith with Diego Simeone for over 10 years. 10 years if I'm not making a mistake. So why can't they follow suit? Must you always win? Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you so much for your thoughts there, Ogbonna. To keep the calls coming in. And yes, let's get to hear your thoughts. This one says, "Good afternoon, sports crew. No grade A manager or player will even accept to work with Chelsea or with the current Chelsea owners. Chelsea's owners are business people, very stubborn, and don't know anything about football. I really pity Chelsea as a club." And that's from Osas from Port Harcourt. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, Daniel, please go ahead.
My brother, to me, I will not them to carry the job because so that by the time he begin face, they will still be the one to regret. That's the same thing only gonna say that the one they pursue Jose Mourinho. You want 8 matches after they give it up, what happens to the next season? You are playing a match once in a month. You want a match once in a month. Then by the time you begin to play in a week, every 2 in a week, we'll see how far. Or by the time you go to market and buy an player, that's the case that I'm passing through now. When the market you want the trophy, the next season you go out for your choice. Look at where they are now. Let them give the match so that they will not begin to give us because it costs.
Hello.
That manager, the man feel them because they not give carry. Let them give the man that by the time they pursue the man, we'll hear what. Or if they want to bring another manager, let them do well for them.
Okay. Thank you so much for your thoughts, dear Daniel. This one's here from the WhatsApp portal says, "Good afternoon, everyone in the studio. Please, what is the difference between a manager and a coach? And also technical director?" That's from Samuel and Alu. Well, a coach is just in charge of you handle the tactics and select your match day squad and how the team play. A manager is involved in a lot of things, the day-to-day running. You have a say in which players tend to come in and which players will go. You also do a coach's job as well, but you have more influence and you have a say in the day-to-day running. A technical director is more like usually when you have a manager, there's no need for a technical director. When you have a coach, then you have a technical director at the end of the day. So I hope that explains it. So you just have to chop and change and remove and add from the roles I just explained to you to actually give you an inclination. Some will call it sporting director. Like in Liverpool now, Arne Slot is the coach. Richard Hughes is the sporting director. He's the man in charge of the transfers. He's the man in charge of all the footballing business Liverpool have to do as regards player transfers and even some of the extras as regards football business. But once a coach or a person or the man in the dugout is the manager, a sporting or technical director usually isn't there because he gets involved in all those things and does all those things. So I hope that explains it better for you. You didn't... Okay, Samuel from Alo. I hope that explains it better for you. And this one says, Ipswich might be coming back to the EPL. Hope Delap has packed his bags. NS from OG. Well, NS, they are back. Not they might be coming back. They are back. But Delap is still a Chelsea player, so Delap is in Chelsea. And this one says, from the SMS portal, from Neymar's PA in Roma Holu, Xavi, Alonso, and Marco Silva are my choices for this Chelsea job. They are good fits for the club's setup, especially Xavi. For Man U, they should keep Carrick because he knows the players well and what he will need to do next season. Okay, thank you so much for that one, Neymar's PA. Do have to keep the calls and thoughts coming in. 0701 933 9962. That's for the SMS and WhatsApp portal line. For the phone line, number is 0810 9510 951. Check us in. Will Real Madrid be crazy to bring back Jose Mourinho?
No way.
But I mean, it just feels like a lot of people are like, Mourinho is past it.
He's past it.
But hold that thought. Let's hear from this caller first. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Marquisha.
If I look at the way Makokari is bringing back the team skills and the way the players are playing, it's very, very fantastic and cocky. You understand? We should even give it up. There's no Liverpool now. We love the other thing. We are debating and everything. I love it that way. And then they should give him that financial like a time up there. And then do what they have to do. And then so that at least you get what you need. We don't want to. That's what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so much. What's that? What's it? Like,
it's out of place. I think that's what Real Madrid needs now.
Why you feel he's the disciplinarian?
He's a big figure in the dressing room that has no other figure to contend with, and that's what Real Madrid needs. Real Madrid is not a team having a problem with tactical setup, or call that tactical ingenuity. It's not a team having a problem with the quality of players. Yes, every of these are found in Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid are a team having some little power tussles, and that's what's the problem right there. You need a big figure like Jose Mourinho to come back so that he can look into the face of anyone and say, listen, get out. I'm in charge here. That's what Real Madrid needs right now. They've tried out their hands in a couple of young coaches. You had Ancelotti leave, big figure, and Xabi Alonso came in. And after Xabi Alonso, we've got Alvaro Arbeloa right now. And it's like, it's not getting better. So let's get back to the big names. Yeah. Let's get back to the big names. The last time Real Madrid experienced some sort of success was a big name in charge. And that was Carlo Ancelotti. So you need to get back to that and bring in somebody who could equate. You can't bring in or assemble Galacticos like Madrid has always done, and you expect that the manager who would come in would not be a Galactico on his own. He has to be. So that's why I said it's not out of place to have Jose Mourinho return back to Real Madrid. That's what they need right now. Someone who can come and calm the storms right there at that club and ensure that every player begins to perform optimally. They need to get back to it. It's rare to see Real Madrid finish a season trophyless, and we're seeing it this season. And they've
done it back to back.
They've done it back to back. It was there last season. Was it actually there last season?
Yeah, they were trophyless. They went trophyless last season.
They went trophyless last season. Okay, I'm trying to look. Who won the Copa del Rey?
Last season's Copa del Rey, was it Betis?
Okay. Okay, Barca. That one last season's Copa del Rey. Okay, that means they've gone trophyless back to back, and we don't see things like this happen. We don't see it happen at all. So they need a big name to come and correct that and make sure that
it was Bilbao.
Athletic Bilbao.
Then Mallorca.
So they need a big name to come back and correct some of these wrongs. And who else? But Jose Mourinho. Henry.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, it wasn't actually Bilbao. I'll confirm Bilbao was 2 seasons ago. And we'll actually confirm who won the Copa del Rey last season. But, I mean, is it a sign of desperation from Florentino Perez? And also, you also have to put that side by side with Mourinho's last decade. Some are saying he has been on a decline for a while now. Now, does it make it actually the right fit or the right time to actually come back to Madrid? Or if you maybe he hasn't necessarily been on the decline, just have to look at the coach or the teams this man has been managing or taking control of.
Well, for Jose Mourinho to Real Madrid, I don't think Florentino Perez is desperate. I think at this point, and the way things are working with Real Madrid, it's going to be hard to control. He knows that it's going to be hard to control the squad. You can't go 2 seasons trophyless because, without a doubt, they are going trophyless this season. That one, it does not look like they will be catching up to Barca. And yes, you see, Mourinho has not won a league title in 11 years, but who else will offer themselves to Real Madrid? Who else is big enough to handle these players?
It was Barca that won it last year.
Who else could handle these players? Who else? Yes, he has some issues with some of the players and all, but I think if they want to grow, they're going to have to deal with Jose Mourinho. He's the only one at least that can put them back on the track or on the right track to maybe or teach them how it's done. Teach them how it's done. Teach them how to listen, how to get used to the rough ways, to the tough ways. Carlo Ancelotti's time has gone. Carlo Ancelotti treated them like a father, and it was like a father to all of them. But I think that's has gone. They need that kind of relationship, and I think Jose Mourinho will be able to do that and give them that road, and the way things are going with Real Madrid, he's the only solution. So I don't think Florentino Perez is desperate. I think at this point, this is the only way if they want to go. Because if they say they want to keep Arbeloa until next season and see how things work out, it's still going to turn out the same way. Unless maybe they're getting a Tuchel or a Conte. I think those are the only managers that I believe can handle this squad. I don't know if they do well, but when look about handling the squad, I think these are the only people that could handle the squad. But even those guys are indisposed at this time. They have duties wherever they are. So Jose Mourinho has been the only one to offer himself, because unless they want to go for an Iraola or maybe Scott Parker, it's possible from Burnley to Real Madrid. Who knows? So unless they want to go for these guys, that's the only way. But going for them, it's not the best solution at this point. I think Jose Mourinho at least offers some hope. Maybe not 50%, maybe not 100%, but I think he's a much more better choice for now than these guys.
Okay, 0701-933-9962, 0701-933-9962. That's for the SMS and WhatsApp portal line. For the phone line, number is 0810-9510-951, 0810-9510-951. So, Chika, it's safe to say that discipline is probably the major reason why Jose is the best fit for Real Madrid at this point in time.
Yes. Discipline is actually the major problem, because we can see the egos that is rising up recently in Madrid. So Jose Mourinho should be the one to handle this. But for me, I think if Jose Mourinho should be going to Madrid to handle the coaching job there, it should just be for a short-term impact. Like, let's say, signing a 2-season contract, because he hasn't won more trophies for the past 7 to 10 years now, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he shouldn't be expected to just come and win trophies. And we can see also in the La Liga, there are so many other teams that are rising up. Teams like Atletico Madrid and other little teams that are coming up to also be in that bigger phase of the competition. And we can see that Barcelona are not also giving up. They are always there to be the opposing side of Real Madrid. So if Jose Mourinho is going to coach Madrid for the next season, I think it should just be for a short time, like let's say 2 seasons, just to balance the ego and the discipline in the team. So maybe the next coach that can come and take over after him will be able to start from there. That's what I just think.
Okay, 0810-9510951. Let's run through what is happening across the major leagues in Europe at this point in time. And in the Championship, we have told you that Ipswich has gotten promoted automatically. They did join Coventry. While for playoff spots, we do have Millwall, Hull City, Middlesbrough and Southampton as they'll fight or try to book qualification to the Premier League through the playoffs at this point in time. And in the English Premier League, Brentford are leading West Ham by a goal to nothing. Konstantinos Mavropanos scoring an own goal. Although the man did score like 6 minutes later, but his goal was ruled out for offside. Had a chance at redemption, but redemption wasn't just for him. Newcastle United are leading Brighton by 2 goals to nothing. William Musula and Dan Bourne, and Sunderland are beating Wolverhampton Wanderers by a goal to nothing. Nodi Mukiele with that one, and the game between Arsenal and Fulham is coming up by 5:30 p.m. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Name and location.
Yeah, my name is Samuel from Alo.
Okay, Samuel, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was the one who sent the message on WhatsApp about the difference between manager and this.
Yeah.
Thank you for the explanation.
Okay.
I want to talk about Chelsea coaches and all the this with my. I think I'm one of those who believe that any coach can succeed in any club. Just that you just need to go at the right time, and also go with they don't give you free hand, because we have seen good coaches that went to big club. But they were doing well in small club, but when they go to big club, they fail. We are also seeing the ones that are doing well in the big club, when they go to small club, they also fail. Like, nobody believed that Bayern Munich will sign Fitz and Company from Burnley. It was like a shocking news. So I think Chelsea should go for either Alonso, because what he was doing with Bayer Leverkusen, probably if Real Madrid gave him a free hand, they also do the same thing, but they refused. They gave the power to the players and decided to frustrate the coach. So if they can go for Alonso, I think it will be a very good coach for them. And even that Fulham coach, I don't think Fulham coach will do well at Chelsea. But I believe instead of that, they should go for Bournemouth coach. I think I will prefer that. I will prefer him to what is his name? Silva of Fulham. And for Jose Mourinho and Real Madrid. Some people say Jose Mourinho is finished. He's finished. I don't think so, because the club Jose Mourinho coach, there's no big coach that will coach those clubs and win trophy. Apart from Fenerbahce, there is no other big team. Roma, before you go to Roma, were already down. They only have a big teams that normally win league in Italy. So there is no big coach that will go to Roma today and win league with Roma. Even Tottenham, there's no big coach that will go to Tottenham and win league. So Jose Mourinho is not done. Just that the clubs he went to were too small. I was one of those that I got angry when he went to Roma and Tottenham and all those jobs. Good. I've been wait for a little bit or go for a leave. Big club would have still come for him. So going to Madrid, you will be sure that Jose Mourinho will go there and win league with that Madrid and even go far in the Champions League. So they should go for him. Jose Mourinho is not finished. He's still a top coach. If you want to count top coach now that I see in the market, or that will see that can still go to big club, I think I will still put Jose Mourinho there. So if they want to get him, they can still get him. I mean, I believe he will do well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your thoughts there, Samuel from Arlo. The phone line is still open, and you can call into your thoughts. And over to the Spanish La Liga, Villarreal did defeat Levante by 5-1 earlier on today. We have Valencia playing out goalless draw with Atletico Madrid. Deportivo Alaves will take on Athletic Bilbao by 5:30 p.m. and Osasuna will take on Barcelona by 8 p.m. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Or good evening.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Great
to have you. Please go ahead.
Yes, about the coaches, either big club or no big club. Maybe every coach go except for every club. Yes, because as Chelsea did so. You see that Bournemouth coach. You know, if you can go Chelsea, make him go there because he's a warrior. Because the success which Chelsea don't see. Chelsea no go agree say then go day 2, 3, 4 years. They no go fit they carry trophy. So pressure will go there on them. You know go fit make and concentrate. But I think they this small club will say trophy, they know they win. Then they okay with all this make team qualify, he will do well. But when it comes to big team needs coach we get mentality, strong mentality. Not be like an slot. We not get strong mentality. We get mental head. We say when you enter any coach, any players we not do well. You tell us say now you get the team, and now those coach will feel for all those teams. Then where they don't already be champion. If not, if you go carry coach from Bournemouth, carry go Madrid, or you carry Bournemouth coach go give Man United, you know go fit stay there because he's when go hit him, he no go fit stay, he go dey make mistake. So not be all coach go fit except for everything. Big team need big coach mentality. Small club need small coach mentality. That's what it is. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kabolo Barry. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Name and location.
Yes, now Aboki speaking, I cover.
Okay, Aboki Pikin, please go ahead.
Let me talk about this Real Madrid. Yeah, each club, not be by mentality. Every coach gets his own mentality to train a player. But if you don't get that player who will give you what you want, you don't go to achieve your progress, no go to show. You go be like they work, you know the job. So now, if Jose Mourinho come to Real Madrid today, and they give you assurance, say Madrid will win something before the season will end.
Okay.
I'll tell you the truth. Because Jose Mourinho now, he don't go around the world of football. He don't see football, he don't train many players, he don't look at many players. He don't get that mentality where he go gather player, we go give her what he want. So if Madrid get ready, make them bring them back again. Make him gather the player, they organize them very well, make them get what they want for the team. You understand? So that is it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Aboki Pikin. And in the French League on, Nancy defeat Marseille by 3 goals to nothing. PSG are playing out goalless draw with Lorient. That game just started 5 minutes on the clock. Metz will take on Monaco by 6 p.m. and Nice will take on Lens by 8:05. In the German Bundesliga, Bayern Munich are playing out 2 draw with FC Heidenheim. Hamburger SVR defeating Frankfurt by 2 goals to 1. Hoffenheim are beating VfB Stuttgart by 3 goals to 2. FC Cologne are 2-0 up against Union Berlin, while Werder Bremen are losing by 3 goals to 1 to Augsburg. Bayer Leverkusen will take on RB Leipzig by 5:30 p.m. In the Italian Serie A, Udinese did defeat Torino by 2 goals to nothing. Como will take on Napoli by 5 p.m. and Atalanta will do battle against Genoa by 7:45. 0810 9510 951. So, Asas, Ipswich are back to the Premier League. Coventry is here. So the season is about to. It's already
another delap to lap with.
It's already at the end. Who knows? They could give us another delap. We're waiting.
Chelsea, please take notes. Ipswich are back. They could bring another delap. Make sure you make good use of the lap when they bring it. So
The lap will help you.
it will. So that's it's a good one to see them return back to the English Premier League. A very good one at this point, and we hope that they begin to maybe churn out results that will keep them back in the Premier League and not send them back again. But yeah, it is what it is. Everything is getting to the conclusion. Both the English Premier League pretty soon will know who would win the league, who would qualify for the UEFA Champions League, and who will go back to the Championship. At least Burnley and Wolverhampton Wanderers, they already know that they will go there. So it's now left for the others to see if they could survive or they would join them. But it is what it is, as I said.
Yes, as well. We also see the Nigeria Premier Football League, who survives and who wins the title as it comes to a close soon. 08109510951, and that is for the phone line. For the SMS and the WhatsApp portal, it's 0701-933-9962. As we get to switch things over to talk about Nigerian and African football, do not touch that dial. You're still tuned into Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Hello, my name is Kanu Wampo, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Yes, we'll start on the continent. I did talk about Morocco and Senegal. And the Court of Arbitration of Sports has set May 7th as the date for its ruling on the dispute surrounding the 2025 African Cup of Nations final between Morocco and Senegal. Senegal is arguing that the procedural irregularities and possible breaches of competition regulation influence the outcome of the match and is pushing for the results to be reviewed and potentially overturned. Morocco, however, has mounted a firm legal defense, maintaining that CAF's decision was fully consistent with established regulations backed by match evidence and official documentation. Reports indicate Morocco's legal team is confident of a favorable outcome. The hearing carries enormous significance for African football. If CAF rules in Senegal's favour, it would be without precedent in AFCON history, a tournament result overturned by legal process after the fact. A Morocco win at CAS cements their title and arguably strengthens CAF credibility on the matter. But whatever the verdict, the fact that is reached, CAS at all raises uncomfortable questions about how CAF has handled this dispute and whether the governing body processes are transparent enough to withstand this level of scrutiny. Public opinion remains sharply divided, with neutral observers questioning both the alleged bias throughout the process. So speaking of CAF, they have announced the kickoff and the final dates of the historic Total Energies CAF African Cup of Nations for 2027 that will be co-hosted by Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda. The opening match will be played on Saturday, 19th of June 2027, and the final will be played on the 17th of July 2027. For the qualifiers, they'll be played across the FIFA international windows as follows. Match day 1 and 2 will be from the September 21st to 6th of October 2026, while match day 3 and 4 will be 9th to 17th of November 2026, while match day 5 and 6 will be from 22nd to 30th of March 2027. Osas, 5 days away, we get to hear the ruling between CAS and the Senegal and the Morocco issue. How do you see it playing out in Morocco's favor, or do you see it playing out in favor of the Senegalese?
I'm not a member of the disciplinary committee in CAS. Neither am I.
On how
a front
the way
player.
CAS operates.
I don't know the way they operate. Or I don't put words for my mouth. I don't know the way they operate. But the truth is, one thing I know is for a fact that whatever verdict, whatever decision the Court of Arbitration for Sports will be coming through on that particular matter is one that would settle lots of issues, is one that we can beat our chest and say has been very well it has been very well looked into, it has been very well viewed, and the right decision has been put forward. See, it's one thing that has really marred the reputation of the Confederation of African Football. It's one thing that has really set African football a couple of steps back, because here the truth is a tournament was organized, an amazing tournament, an impressive tournament, a tournament that had its own fair share of accolades right from the beginning, talking about the infrastructure put through in that one, talking about how well organized it was. Then only for the end of it all, what took place, shattering everything that had been built from that tournament, and it lingered with the tournament, even after the tournament. You saw the uproar that came through when there was that switch from Senegal being the winners of the 2025 African Cup of Nations to Morocco now being the winners, even without doing it on the pitch of play. It was huge. It was huge. Senegal had to drag or take their case to the Court of Arbitration for Sports. Morocco now has also prepared what they call their own fair, would I call that, their fair accusations sent to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, which the Court of Arbitration for Sports will listen to what Morocco has got to say, would also look into what Senegal has got to say, and finally give a verdict or give what is called their decision. And I think that will settle hugely a lot on this particular one. I think it's the decision from the Court of Arbitration for Sports that will pacify to an extent what has been on ground. Right now, it's not been a very friendly relationship between Morocco and Senegal. Both countries have now been drawn a bit apart because of what happened there. Don't forget that we still have some Senegalese supporters still in Morocco's custody. We still have some of them still facing trial, still going to court today, tomorrow. Senegal has sent messages, please let them go. Morocco has said no, because these things will need to go through some sort of legal processes before it will be done with. So you can see that there is a strained relationship between Morocco and Senegal already. And the unsettled situation hanging over their heads is just straining that relationship the more. So what the Court of Arbitration for Sports can do right now is bring a decision that would pacify, that will reconcile, and that will bring an end to this strain in the relationship. Because see, the truth is, whichever decision comes through, if it goes in favor of Senegal, Morocco understands that this is the apex of football dispute settlement in the world. If it goes in favor of Morocco, Senegal understands that this is the apex body for settling football disputes in the world. Because of that, they would understand that they need to respect that decision. Because of the reputation that the what's it called, CAS, Court of Arbitration for Sports, had created for themselves. Everyone understands that this body, this entity, is not questionable. So that's one thing that will bring peace to it. Both nations are going to the World Cup. The World Cup cannot afford to have two African nations instead of trying to unite to push the African picture in football ahead. They are divided and fighting against themselves. Imagine when it gets to a point where Morocco has to play and Senegal fans don't turn up to say, let's support one of our own, being Africa. I saw what happened in the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. Every African team came out to support every African team. It got to a point where Ghana were the last men standing, and every African team, including the South Africans, came out to give Ghana that massive support going forward. So I think, the next 5 days, there'll be a turnaround in African football, but that turnaround is for the positive and not for the negative.
All right, so how does the hearing in the next few days, how will it affect CAF and the AFCON, especially in the eyes of the public, the 2027 AFCON that's coming up? If it's ruled in Senegal's favor, and also if it's either ruled in Morocco's favor, how does it affect the competition in general, the public, the credibility of the competition to the public? How excited will fans be? How excited will teams be to want to participate in the competition? We just want to give their best for the competition.
You go participate whether you like them or not. You don't qualify. So it's not about saying who participates. But if the decision goes in favor of Morocco, CAF would feel vindicated. They'll feel vindicated. because it's quite clear. It will look like, okay, fine, our own disciplinary committee sat down and said Morocco deserves this because of what we pointed out. 1, 2, 3 facts that we pointed out that goes in support of Morocco becoming the AFCON champions for the 2025 edition. Fine. But if you go against Morocco, I think it's going to destroy the image of CAF even more, because it's now going to be Senegal dragging and taunting CAF by saying, you saw it, it's glaring. What kind of framework, what kind of rules do you have? You saw this, it's glaring, but you went ahead to sell it all out. And it will also reaffirm the fact that everyone has been saying that there is a alliance between Morocco, or the Royal Football Federation of Morocco, and the Confederation of African Football. So many persons have allegedly said there is a handshake that has gone beyond the elbow between these two entities, and that's one of the reasons why everybody within CAF is trying to make sure that there is a favor granted over to Morocco. After the whole saga, we saw the back and forth that went with the Women's African Cup of Nations. By now, it's supposed to have been concluded. But because of the whole, I believe, yes, the whole back and forth, Morocco were the ones, or are the ones responsible for hosting that. Who knows? Allegedly, it could have been a case of, we know they host again, since I don't fail me, and CAF was left in the dark. CAF was left bare, confused, and started running up and down to say, okay, what happened? That's the reason for the postponement, most likely. That's allegedly anyway. But you could see it that this goes a long way to confirm that it seems there were some agreements between CAF and Morocco, allegedly again. Because why would Morocco obviously want to hold CAF to ransom? We've got other countries that can host. Even if you don't have countries around the world, around Africa, capable of hosting, because we are still fighting with the 2027 African Cup of Nations, though the date has been set now. It's for the East.
The hosts.
The eastern side of Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, that should be, yes. So it's for them right now. And we've got talks of, the quality will be like waiting we see for Morocco. The quality of the 2027 AFCON will not be like 2025. Even during the 2025 AFCON, I remembered watching one of the, I don't want to call the media house, one of their post-game interviews, and one of Africa's well-respected journalists said, oh yeah, get ready, 2027, una go trek waiting no good for East Africa because they don't have good road network. He talked about the impeccable road networks that they have, right, train networks, road networks, transportation system that they have right there in Morocco, which he said you get into a train in a couple of, you can actually be playing in Marrakesh and you reside in Rabat. You get into a train and in the next 45 minutes, 1 hour, 15 minutes, you are in Marrakesh for your game. You're done. You get into a train, in the next 1 hour, 15 minutes, you're back to Rabat. That's it. He said 2027, when I go cry. That was how he literally said it, that there will be lots of trekking because there is no good road network in the eastern side of Africa. Yeah, I understand. But sometimes we enjoy, sometimes we suffer. That shouldn't be. Africa belongs to every one of us. It shouldn't be a case where, because you want to showcase to the world that we are matching up, we are coming in, we are matching the standards, we are looking great, then you decide to rob Peter to pay Paul. It isn't good at all. So I think if the decision goes in favor of Senegal, it would also be a deterrent to CAF or anything that will want to come within CAF after Patrice Motsepe. It's going to serve as a restraining order, telling them that don't try this at home again, because the end product, you will not like it. Because it's going to be a clear case of CAF being disgraced in public and wouldn't want to try it again. So if there is any plan between themselves, Morocco, it should be a plan based on legality. You are of age. We clap for you. We applaud you, Morocco. You're doing well. You are next best thing close to Europe. You have improved your economy. Nobody is disputing that. But it should be you are doing it for Africa to grow, for every other ones who haven't grown to grow, not taking advantage of what other African countries would have a fair playing ground to fight for. You understand me? So CAF would have to come back and look at themselves and say, hey, this is the way we do. It don't backfire. Then if they want to keep standard, they will sit within themselves and think about it. If we have a regional hosting, let it be a regional hosting. So that if it is the region for the north, we know in Morocco, since their body good were made in host them. If it goes to the south, South Africa carry and host, since you can do something close to. If it comes to the west, no problem. Nigeria, Ghana, join your hands together. After all, you have hosted it before. Put up, tell these ones know that you are the regional host. Put up your facility, so that when the wheel of the region hosting rotates and comes to you, you'll be ready. If it goes to the east, Rwanda, you are doing well now. Kenya, Ethiopia, you're doing well now. Oh yeah, three of you put your hands together. Host. All right. If that's the system they want to go to, you go to that one. And we don't come into a situation where you do for me, I'll go do for you back. Then you start getting into these points where it is. So I think the next 5 days will be a turning point in African football.
All right, Benjamin, has the value of the African Cup of Nations diminished in, you see, recent, especially with the events that happened during the finals between Senegal and Morocco? And so I have to look at how hard it is to secure good countries to host. Look at countries that hosting and how hard it is for them to get the right facilities. Has the value reduced, especially when you're looking at outside of Africa, the Europeans, the Americans, how they look at the AFCON? Has it diminished in recent times for you?
Well, I feel that when Jamie Carragher talked about African Nations Cup, lots of people were actually saying that it's not a top competition. Lots of people came for his head, including all we here. But what transpired against the Teranga Lions of Senegal and the Atlas Lions of Morocco showed that was trying to portray what Jamie Carragher I've said before now. In a major competition, I've not seen before now where players get to walk out of the stadium, or out of the pitch rather, because of what the referee. They felt that the referee is being biased. That's number one. We thought that was all. The next thing, Senegal won the Nations Cup, and we heard that we were here, CAF issued a statement that Senegal should return the Nations Cup to Morocco because Morocco won it. That's CAF, according to CAF, what's it called now? CAF, I've forgotten the body of that. Now, it showed that indeed we don't value our own, and CAF have succeeded in belittling the Nations Cup. That's the biggest competition in the African continent. We've seen the European, the European competition. That's the Euro. We've seen the UEFA competitions and all that. We've never seen this before. So all these actions belittles show that we are belittling our own. So for me, I think after what transpired in Morocco, I think the African Nations Cup has been belittled by CAF, by Senegal, by Morocco, and other parastaters associated with the Nations Cup. So I feel the Nations Cup has been, the value of the Nations Cup has been brought down. So for me, I feel that's my opinion concerning that. Then looking at the others, the Europeans or other part of Europe and maybe South America have seen that the Nations Cup is quite, it is the way you keep your house or the way you value your property. Do you place value on it? That's how others will actually place value on it. That's how others will value it. So we have succeeded in making our own biggest supposedly biggest tournaments, in African football, so little that the Europeans get to make mockery of it because of the way we've done. Patrick Motsepe have succeeded in doing that. The verdict, I've forgotten the committee that did that brought the verdict. What's the other name now? That gave the verdict that Morocco won, that Senegal should hand it over to Morocco. The CAF disciplinary committee. I think it is a disgrace to African football. Whoever heard this, whoever have seen this, is going to be pointing to the fact that yes, Jamie Carragher was right to have said that the Nations Cup is not a major tournament because of the way we have painted it, or because of what transpired in Morocco. Now, trying for other nations or other regions to host it, I feel it's a blessing in disguise. Because if we keep letting Morocco host the Nations Cup, host the Under-17 World Cup, host the WAFCON, host what's it called now, the home base, the Chan tournament, I feel other parts of Africa will not develop. We saw when Zambia hosted, wasn't a very flashy one, but it made Zambia to have a stadium. Because tournaments like this, you have to renovate your stadiums or you have to build a new one if the one you're having is not good enough to host tournaments like this. Now, the 2027, we are going to be seeing the host, what's it called now? The East Africans, right? They are East Africans. They are going to be hosting it. I think it brings development. So for me, if CAF is going to be doing the zoning, it is going to be better because it makes football, the other side of the African countries, develop. Now, if Nigeria is going to be hosting the Nations Cup, example, we have to start renovating our stadiums because right now we have just one stadium that is accredited by CAF to host CAF competitions. That's the Gospel International Stadium. And before, we used to have the Ujo Isone Stadium, the Liberation Stadium, the Teslim Balogun, the Abuja Stadium, and all that. But right now we have just one. So if Nigeria is going to be hosting the Nations Cup, then it puts Nigeria on the fact that Nigeria needs to start renovating their stadiums or getting a new stadium. We saw that in Ivory Coast when they hosted the Nations Cup previously. We saw the stadiums, renovated stadiums, newly built stadiums. It brings development. And then we don't want to talk about the economic benefits of hosting these tournaments because tourists are going to be coming. It gives you that it adds value to the economy. People are going to be coming for sightseeing. People are coming to watch the games, hotels and all that. Your meals, your local, it's going to be empowered. So I feel that what CAF have done is a blessing in disguise. Yeah, we might not have the best of road network, best of stadiums and all that, but we are trying to make development go round. It's not just Morocco. Yes, they have the best quality stadium in Africa. They have the best this, they have the best that and all that. But if it keeps going to Morocco, that's why we saw they said they cannot host the WAFCON because of logistic issues and all that. Because they feel it's just them. But if you start zoning this thing and start making other people go through the hosting rights, get the hosting rights and start developing their countries because of the the event, the competition, I think it betters them in some way. They would now have their new stadiums, road network. At least it's going to be there are going to be road networks, connected road networks, even if it's difficult, but at some point they will have to fix it before that time. So I feel that it's a blessing in disguise for all CAF have done for awarding the 27 nations up to other parts of the East Africans, other parts of Africa, instead of always Morocco. It does not help the other nations.
All right, let's leave everything that has to do with CAF and CAS and head over or bring it back home. We'll talk about some Nigeria players and them leaving in the summer. We'll start off with Victor Osimhen, as the man has effectively shut the door on a summer exit from Galatasaray, reaffirming his commitment to the Turkish club despite intense interest from Barcelona, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Liverpool and Juventus. The Super Eagles striker has been in outstanding form, 57 goals and 15 assists in 72 appearances since joining from Napoli, including 20 goals and 7 assists in 31 appearances this season alone. His numbers have made him one of Europe's most coveted forwards, and Galatasaray have responded by slapping a 150 million euros asking price on him, a fee that would rank among the highest in football history. Yet Osimhen himself is sending a different message. The man said, and I quote, "I think I found a home here where I am comfortable. This club is family. It's love, unity, and utmost respect." He added that his family and close friends are equally settled in Istanbul, reinforcing how deep his ties to the club now run. This is not the first time he has chosen Galatasaray over a bigger move, but Osimhen's stance is a direct threat to their plans, as both Barcelona and Real Madrid scouted him in person during Galatasaray's derby against Fenerbahce, and both now face a massive uphill battle. His salary is reportedly at approximately 21 million euros net per year, the highest in Turkish football, and adds another layer of financial complexity to any deal. Meanwhile, former Super Eagles forward Osaze Odewegi has weighed in with his own advice, warning Victor Osimhen to keep Manchester United off his list entirely. We have seen it with Romelu Lukaku and so many strikers. They will always find a scapegoat because the club is so big. Odewegi said, describing United as Wahala. His preferred destination for Osimhen is Arsenal, Barcelona, or Real Madrid. The club he sees as better fit for the striker space, aerial ability, and overall style. Chikazi, Victor Osimhen, the love we've seen from Galatasaray. We remember the match, for that match, but it was the Champions League match against Liverpool. They had a tifu of his mother there. We saw how touched the man was, and shutting down moves to Barca, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Juventus. It's not just playing mind games. You still see him moving during the summer, or with the way he's moving at Galatasaray, is he tied down to that club?
I think Osimhen is a very great striker, a very good player. You know, most of the times we tend to compromise teams, like emotions and other things. But looking at Victor Osimhen, I think the player, for now, he's not sure about his move going to bigger teams, because according to him, he said he has found a family there and he knows the reason why he's there. So I think he should be competing with big strikers from all over the world. And Galatasaray is not that of a big team for him to, to show his spotlight and everything. He needs to go to a bigger team like Barcelona or Real Madrid. You understand? So maybe he just has his reason of still remaining at Galatasaray. And maybe he hasn't done everything he feels like he needs to do in Galatasaray. And we can see Galatasaray is still going up for another Europa Champions League. Yes, I think, they won the league. I think they won the league.
Yes, they're on the route to win the league.
Okay, so this should be his second season in Galatasaray, and also winning the league twice. So I think he hasn't done enough for the team, and he needs to do more, just like him. He needs to do more, but maybe a season will come when he will have to move from Galatasaray to a bigger team. Maybe he just has to remain there for now.
Osas, remain there for now. You're looking at the 150 million price tag or asking price that Galatasaray have. They might say they don't want to sell him, but it looks like they could be tempted to do that. 150 million euros price tag for Victor Osimhen. Your Real Madrid or Barcelona, do you pay this amount? Is he worth the trouble to spend this amount on Victor Osimhen? And the man has already said he's not going. My family is here, and you've seen how the man moves in Galatasaray. Everyone loves him there. He's an icon there at this point.
He's an icon, yes, definitely. But football is also played because of the money. Is the truth.
He turned down the deal to Saudi.
He did not
to stay in Galatasaray. So what is Barca or Real Madrid going to do about that?
He will turn down deal from Barca. If Barca meets 150 million euros,
but
he will not turn down deal from
Barca
any
have
club in the English Premier League. If they meet 150 million euros, he will not try it. So that's that. Yeah, it's just what he did there was showing respect to Galatasaray. I know that was during the Onakosi's interview with him. He's done a lot already for so many Nigerians. If you don't know about that, took some guys to Turkey to have a feel of what it is to play football right there at Galatasaray. And within that interview, he stated that he doesn't have his because I followed it up, and even when we had him speak with some of our media friends, most of them were suggesting, come to Arsenal, come to Real Madrid, come to Barca, come to. So he had to put it. He had to put it to rest because, yeah, most likely it has started yielding balls, and maybe he wouldn't want it to blow out of proportion and maybe affect his current team and his current stay in Turkey. So he had to just put it to a rest. I believe that's what he did by saying, no, I'm very, very comfortable here and I don't have the plans of even leaving. I just want to be here. It's a place that my family and friends have now gotten used to, and the people love me. They've shown love. Yeah, it's true, but he's an ambitious person. That's one thing I know about Victor Osimhen. So when the opportunity comes, he will definitely want to make that move to somewhere that could guarantee him bigger trophies. He has won the Turkish Super League. He has won the Turkish Kupasi Cup. He has also won the highest goal scoring record there in Turkey, but he still needs more. He needs to do it big on the European scene, and that one would show clearly that he's obviously poised to become one of the greatest strikers Africa would have produced. If he doesn't win all of this, there is no way he will be in contention for that. Not forgetting that he also needs to win the AFCON some way or somehow. So, but I think when the money is met, he will want to go. Now the question is, which is the best team that fits into what Victor Osimhen has to offer? And you'll be asking yourself certain questions, or asking yourself these questions, taking a look into certain things. Victor Osimhen is one man who's injury prone. Victor Osimhen is one man who is, I don't want to say temperamental, but he's highly emotional. So these are some of the things that clubs, I believe these were some of the reasons why some clubs decided to stay off him in the last summer transfer window. Because we expected Victor Osimhen to make a big move, just like how Victor Gyökeres, Benjamin Sesko. Look at some of the strikers that were making the balls with him at that period. Jonathan, David, they all made moves, but Victor Osimhen still stayed put in Gala. We expected it, but most likely these are some of the things that would have made these teams not to go in for it. Because if you're bringing in Victor Osimhen, you must also try to look at how you manage his injury status. It's not something that is hidden. I read the reports where it was stated that he has got a certain illness that causes frequent injuries for him, and it's not as if it's something that could be removed or healed. He just has to manage it. So everything must understand that they need to manage that also. So Victor Osimhen might not be that striker who will give you 38 league games in a season if all things are equal. So you must also have to look into that. You also have to look at his emotional standings also when you're bringing him in. So we've got so many clubs on his call and beckon right now. Barcelona is there. Real Madrid are also locking around. You've got Arsenal, you've got Chelsea. Manchester United might decide to throw themselves in. The last time they also had a reason to come in. But now let's look at all of these teams. Chelsea is one that he holds to heart. But right now, Chelsea has got João Pedro. Chelsea has got Maguire, but I will not be bringing in Maguire into the contention there. But there's João Pedro. There is Delap. Delap could also try to find his way in. But it's quite clear that if Victor Osimhen was to go to Chelsea, it's going to be a tussle between himself and João Pedro. So now, who is that man that gets to start while the other one stays back? That's one fear there. That's personally for me to say Victor Osimhen go over to Chelsea. Arsenal seems to be the team that will give him that belief, opportunity, as well as time to acclimatize and just become the man that is the goal-getter for them. Arsenal are in search of a prolific goal scorer. They've been in the search for it for quite some time. They got Victor Gyökeres, but I don't know if Gyökeres is actually meeting that expectations. I believe deep in the hearts of those who make the decisions right there in Arsenal, they would want to, if they have the opportunity of having Victor Osimhen, they want to trade Victor Gyökeres for Victor Osimhen. One thing I know is that both of them might not be at the club at the same time. So if Victor Osimhen is to come in to Arsenal, then there is every possibility that maybe Victor Gyökeres might have to move out, might have to find a spot away from Arsenal at this point. Barcelona also needs him. If I had my way to select for him, Barcelona would have been the best for Victor Osimhen at this point, because there's so much of a competition there, and he has got a team that he can grow with, and it's not in a league that is too demanding because of his injury status. You understand what I mean? So for these teams I mentioned, Barca for me would have been the best for him, because there's a tendency that Robert Lewandowski is going to be on his way out. So he would now become the main man. He will become the central focal point. And, he has got a support cast that can create. They can create with all that is being created right there at Barca. I don't see any reason why Victor Osimhen will not hit 30 plus goals every season, because he has also shown his abilities to finish off creations. So with all the creations coming from the likes of Lamine Yamal, the likes of Femi Lopez, Dani Olmo, Rafinha, Pedri, Gavi, and even deep line playmaking creation. Also, this is Blabadash. Whoa, what did Von Visa just now? See, with Von Visa doing this, the previous game before this game, that was against Arsenal, he missed something. See, his stay in Newcastle will definitely be numbered, because this is Von Visa missing a clear goal scoring opportunity. You cannot be doing this back to back. He's not been able to find his feet in front of Newcastle's defense, and you cannot even try to want to stay put by putting in these kind of performances. He has been heavily criticized, most especially after that Arsenal game, in what he did, and here he's doing a replica. No one was on him. Just tap the ball into the back of the net, and you are sending the ball to one of the moons on Jupiter. It's a poor one at this point, a poor one for Von Visa, a man who, yes, was a shining star right there at Brentford, and here he is finding his feet for Newcastle. I hope he's able to do that within a while. But back to what I was saying. So I'm saying these are some of the things that we'll put into consideration before thinking of a team where Victor Osimhen will go, and it's Barca for me being the most likely to fit his playing style and everything that goes with his football.
08109510951. That's for the SMS and the WhatsApp. Or for the phone line, it's 070. For the phone line, it's 08109510951. For the SMS and the WhatsApp, or to 0701-933-9962. For the phone line, it's 0701-933-9962. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Kabulobare. Yeah.
Yeah, about the CAF issue. The CAF. Me having this say Bana Mose could just Kukuma resign, because you say resign for now Nigeria man now in the day like Nigeria to win the like resign. Yeah, you say Mose go resign, because since I start to watch football in Africa here, Mose now be the worst star president when I don't see. Yes, when Isa had to be doing own, Isa had to not be like this, even though Isa had to own, he gets some kind of question. But it's had to own, not be a day like this. Must own. Enjoy African football. Go back to one of the 30 years ago. Because I don't know. And Senegal and Morocco, you see those two countries, anytime when they play ball, me I know sit down, watch the ball again. Where my own best station go, now Senegal. Yes, because if they blow ball, make them play the ball. Either they will score or they not go score. You get my work come off for pitch. What you think saying will happen when they come off for pitch? So if not for me, now I'm get way to rule for this matter. Waiting for this, and for carry Morocco and Senegal, carry come like and then say Macas, I don't give them say Macas say them. Then they come play that final. Therefore play that final. This one way then go judge for court. Me I know bad do I know like a one day. Then for reschedule that much for them for another country, make them play. But this one they just play football. No one dance like you have a club and other people the African nations come as more tournament. I know been there because we Africa we don't carry ourselves. Give the whole world, make them say we don't feel do anything without we do. I can't get one idea to say like when the like this combination come when they play. If not me, I have to say I for just sack all the African referees. I for carry outside the team and go bloody.
All right.
Maybe sometime, maybe respect go day.
All right.
Because I believe say when they say make country, African country bloody.
Right.
Like Morocco they host and
All right.
say they
Let's give other people time to talk to you as well.
Make it make make it resign.
All right, thank you. Hello, good evening.
Hey, presenter.
Yes, this is.
This is from Lita.
All right, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I am proud of my brother, Osimhen. When he wanted to opt out to Europe, it was as if he has no value. Chelsea, Arsenal, all of them don't value him. She increased it to 200. If they cannot let them get out because he said he has found home. You see, when you are destitute or you are in need, and people who should welcome you, see, I think they don't have value for you. Somebody who has given you hope. My brother, other people should get to pack one corner. If they cannot meet up with the man, let it remain there. I'm proud of him. I think from the teacher.
All right. All right, thank you. 08109510951 for the SMS and the WhatsApp. Also, it's 0701933962 at St. James Park. It's 3-1 in favor of Newcastle. Over at the Brentford Community Stadium, Brentford currently beating West Ham 3-0. A good chance for Tottenham to bounce back tomorrow. And the Wolves and Sunderland, it's all ended there at the Molineux. But before I do that, let me answer this call. Hello, caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Samuel from Malo.
Samuel, give us your thoughts here.
For me, I don't think the CAF president is the worst president. It's not only this AFCON that we have complained. I think the previous, it was still the one that organized the Africa AFCON that we all praise. And he has been doing things with the CAF Champions League and the rest. It's just that I don't know what went wrong with this particular AFCON. And for Osimhen, I think we start already said it, or I think Barcelona will be a very, very good place for Osimhen. If you take big chances created, everything, Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, developed and they upgraded a lot of chances. And Ferran Torres, I'm missing big clear-cut goal scoring opportunity. Lewandowski is not. If you take our striker, if you take, Ferran Torres has scored up to 19 goals or 20 goals this season, but we are not still impressed. But if you see a constant, I think Osimhen will do very, very well. Will be a very good addition to the Barcelona setup. I don't even want Osimhen to go to the Premier League. I don't know why, because all the clubs in the Premier League currently, all of them have issue from Arsenal, Liverpool. The only club now is only Man City. Even Liverpool, they are having issue. Arsenal having issue. Man U having issue. Chelsea, all the big clubs in England. I think the best place for him now is to go to either La Liga or go back to Italy, one of the big clubs in Italy. But I prefer to go to La Liga, either Barcelona or Real Madrid. But Barcelona will be a very good place for him. That's the contribution.
All right, thank you, Samuel. 08109510951. That's for the SMS and the WhatsApp port to 0701933996 for the phone line is 081095100951. Yes, Brentford beating West Ham 3-0. Newcastle United beating Brighton Hove Albion 3-1 at the St. James Park. At the Molineux, it's 1-1 did end the Wolves and the Sunderland. By 5:30, we see Arsenal take on Fulham. Arsenal have never lost to Fulham. I think in the last 30 or so games, they have not lost to Fulham at home. And they hope to continue that streak as they want to extend their hold at the top of the English Premier League table. Over in the other leagues, in the Spanish La Liga, it all ended between Villarreal and Levante, with Villarreal beating Levante 5-1. Valencia losing to Atletico Madrid 2-0. Is 82 minutes in that center. By 5:30, we see Alaves take on Athletic Club and then Barcelona take on Osasuna. In the Italian Serie A, Udinese beating Torino 2-0. Como and Napoli later by 5 p.m. And then Atalanta take on Genoa. In the German Bundesliga, lots of goals to report from that center. Union Berlin earlier and 2-0 draw with FC Cologne. Frankfurt losing to HSV. That's 2-1. Bayern and Heidenheim playing out a 3-0 draw. Augsburg beat Werder Bremen 3-1. And Hoffenheim and Stuttgart playing out a 3-0 draw. In the French Ligue 1 is Nantes and Marseille. With Nantes beating Marseille 3-0. We currently have Paris Saint-Germain against Lorient. 1-0. The match is currently going on. It's half time at that center. We see Mets take on AS Monaco later, and then Nice take on RC Lens. 08109510951070193399962. Another Super Eagles player that could be leaving his club is Rafael Onyedika. The man is heading to the exit door at Club Brugge. Yes, they've set a minimum asking price of 15 million euros for the man. Where do you see him going to? La Liga, the Italian Serie A, the German Bundesliga. Where could he be headed to? Or maybe even the Turkish league. Alright, so let's leave players and talk about the national teams across Nigeria, from the Falconets to the Falcons to the Super Eagles and so on. About the Super Eagles. And it's Sam Solje, the former defender, who has criticized the NFF's approach to national team selection, stressing that the real problem is not recruiting foreign-born players per se, but how it is being done. The NFF, the problem, the man said, the problem is the manner of the way the NFF is doing it, Solje told Brilla during his playing days. During his playing days, he said, the team maintained a deliberate balance, 3 to 5 home-based players regularly included in camp alongside foreign-based players. He warned that the current regime has abandoned that model entirely. A player, quoting him, he said the player will just make one debut regardless of the club he makes the debut for in the UK, and you are qualified to play for the national team. He also cited hard data as the NPFL dropped 15 places in the 2025 IFFH's global rankings, falling from 76th to 91st. Also, Friday Ekpo, the former midfielder, delivered the most structural argument of all, that the bedrock of any national team is its home league. Quoting the man, he said, if you check England, most of their players come from the Premier League. If you check Germany, they come from the Bundesliga. Every other country except Nigeria brings people from local leagues, he said. Ekpo went further on the question of government ownership of the NPFL club, which he sees as the root cause of the league's problems. Quoting the man, he said government-owned teams want to win at all costs. They will do everything possible to get results in their own way, but that's why we can never play well even away. He flagged the absence of proper player contracts as a structural weakness and called for greater private sector involvement in club management as the only suitable path forward. Therefore, you, Benjamin, different players, different arguments, different diagnoses of the same problems. So, Jay, Ekpo, who do you, or which argument do you feel is more important between the two? And where do you start?
But I feel, if you want, see, I've been talking about this for a long time. That see, we need to start developing a league. That's the truth. If we don't develop a league, it becomes a problem for us because, the yeah, it's not bad to bring in players, from players from outside, but again, you have to look at your league, and it's the way the national team will be. It's going to be a testament of how your league has been or will be. You could remember when Egypt won the AFCON. I think it was 4 times in a row, if I can remember. That team was made up of the local base players. There were 2 or 3 players that were playing outside. I think that was Mohamed Aboutreka was playing in the Egyptian league. Zidane. See, yeah, the NFF is not about just the national teams, the Super Falcons, Falconets, Super Eagles, and yeah, the local league. It should be a priority, in terms of, because looking at it, our players get to leave. I was reading an interview from one of the players that went to Iraq, former Nigerian international, went to Iraq to play. He said in Iraq, you can be guaranteed that the lowest you can earn is 5 million naira.
He said the highest he's earned in play for Nigeria at that time when he was playing was 1 million.
1 million naira. And see, it's becoming worse. It's becoming worse. Our players get to leave for lower leagues because they get to earn more money. If the league where the MPFL was good, tell me, what will you be doing in Iraq? What will you be doing in the Indian League? I feel you see some Nigerian players playing in Malaysian Premier League. It is because our league is bad. We don't pay much. And it's affecting the players because most of these players are breadwinners for their family. And in Nigeria, when people assume that you are wealthy or you have money, or you're a professional footballer. See, as a man, you don't just feed one stomach, or you don't just feed yourself alone or your family. You feed people outside, just let's say extended families and all that. So it shows that they have to leave for greener pastures. So if we don't put our house right now, our league is like a breeding ground for other African leagues. They'll come and pick our best players, pay them money, and then they're out. We can't keep our best players in the league for 2-3 seasons in a row. We are not performing in the CAF Confederation Cup because we can't keep hold of our best players. Every season, the top scorer of the MPFL gets to leave. The next season, he gets to leave. The best defender gets to leave. So how can you now perform in the CAF Confederation Cup and CAF Champions League? Because your best players are leaving. Because you can't pay them much. The league is not even on TV to start with. I was conducting an interview with one of the players that played in the MPFL and then left. He went to the Tanzanian league. Then he was in Tanzania. He said when he was passing, or when he was going to the supermarket, people were calling his name because they were showing all the games on TV. People know his name. But while in Nigeria, people don't. He can be passing and nobody knows that he is a goalkeeper in the MPFL. In Rivers State, most people cannot even call 3 players from Rivers United team because the league is not on TV. Because the environment the stadium is not even conducive enough for people to go and watch. So we need to see, the earlier we realize this, the better for us, that we have to put our leagues together. The league is a benchmark. If not, now the Unity Cup is coming. Richard will now be scouting players and all that for the Unity Cup. ordinarily, if our league is good, games like this, tournaments less important like this, you can just go there and just pick, because you're used to them, you pick 3-4 players, you pick 22 players from there and go prosecute the game. It's not a friendly game. You go and start calling the European-based players, because it's even lesser for you in terms of money, it's in terms of expenses, because you pick these guys from the MPFL, you move them down there. But when you start assembling the foreign-based players, you get to pay their flight ticket from their clubs down to the venue or where the competition is taking place. So I feel that it's hard time to start looking at the direction of putting our leagues together, and not just the national teams, the all national teams cut across all the Falcons, Falconets, the under 23, the Super Eagles. Yes, those are good, but the league should be a priority for us.
Right, and speaking of Unity Cup and players that might be called up, we know Eric Chell is doing a tour of the Nigeria Premier Football League to select players that could be called up. He's already done set out his criterion, for the players. He said, quoting the source, he said the player must be young, not more than 23 years old. Another thing is he must be willing and able to run and press high up the pitch. Any player in the PFL who has been regular and possesses all of the above qualities will no doubt be a look-in. Well, that's for the NPFL players. But what about the foreign guys? We've been seeing many of them switching allegiance or confirming that they are of Nigerian descent. And two defenders that have been getting a look at is Michael Kayode of Brentford and Daniel Oyugoki of Hellas Verona. For Michael Kayode, the man is a Brentford defender, 21 years old, born in Italy to Nigerian parents. He joined Brentford permanently from Fiorentina in 2025 and is valued at 35 million euros. For Daniel Oyugoki, he's a Hellas Verona right back, 22 years old, born in England to Nigerian parents. He rose through Arsenal's academy, had loan spells at Brentford and MK Dons, moved to Hearts in Scotland in 2024 and established himself as a regular starter at Verona in the Italian Serie A. Taking in the direct message to own goal, Nigeria, he said, he confirmed his Nigerian identity without ambiguity. Quoting the man, he said, "Yes, I am a Nigerian, and it means being eligible to play for Nigeria, one of the biggest football countries in the world." A source close to Eric Chell reviewed the technical staff are aware of Oyugoki's availability and had attempted to invite him for AFCON preparations before an injury ruled him out. Now fully fit, heading into his third season at Verona, a called up push is firmly on the table. Also looking at other names, confirmed switches. We have David Ozo, Crystal Palace, and also played in the Championship. The England born midfielder is among a Championship duo who agreed to represent Nigeria. A major boost for Eric Chell's rebuilding process. We also have Femi Aziz too. We saw the man earlier and how skillful he was. 2 goals today for the man, and he's committed to his international future to the Super Eagles. We've got Ato Okonkwo as well too, and Jeff Ekata Henoa, Italian Serie A. As of April 2026, the 19-year-old Henoa striker, born in Little Nigeria parents and trained through Italy's youth system, chose to represent Nigeria at senior level. And some players also being talked about. We have William Osula, and I don't think much needs to be said about the man and what he's done. 3 goals in the last 4 matches for the man. Scored against Brighton, scored against Bournemouth, and scored against Crystal Palace in the last match. Just couldn't get a goal against Arsenal, but it's still a big one for Nigeria and for the guy himself. And Benjamin, Nigeria has already secured 4 allegiance switches this year. Also, Aziz, Okonkwo, Ekato. Is that progress for you? Is that genuine progress, or is the NFF just picking up players other nations didn't fight hard enough for?
Well, I think looking at these players, well, it's progress, and this is coming as a result of what's it called? Most of them, you look at it, most of them are players that the country, let's say the Super Eagles, let's say most of them, the invitees or the players have switched allegiance. You look at most of them, the players that ordinarily couldn't make, or they know that they can't make the team of their country. That's why they're switching allegiance to Nigeria. Most of them, but the others, a few, it's about they are young. My own is whoever is coming to the Super Eagles should be young. That's the thing. We don't want players from in their late 20s and early 30s to start coming into coming into the Super Eagles. You're young. It gives you that gives the manager that time to groom you in and then know what he wants to do with you if you're part of the team, if you're going to be part of the team or not. So I just feel that's the case. But where it's worrisome for me is what plans does the NFF have for the home-based players? That's one thing. Yeah, we know that if you want to play for Nigeria, the easiest way is for you to leave the shores of Nigeria, before you can play for the Super Eagles. So I feel that right now, what is what that's the question. What is the plan for NFF? Towards the home base players. Yeah, Eric Chow have said the Unity Cup is going to be a ground an avenue where we have to see the abilities of the home base players. But for players switching allegiance is good for Nigeria so that we will be spoiled for options. But I think these players there should be a criteria. We should not be on the begging side. There should be a criteria. Play for a top team. You should be performing week in, week out before we start. Even if you switch allegiance, before we start giving a call up. So it should not be that a player playing for MK Dons because he wants to play. He has seen himself that I cannot make the Three Lions team. So let me switch my allegiance to Nigeria. Anyway, I'm playing. They'll give me a call up. No, it should be that you're playing for a team. There should be a minimum requirement before you can switch your allegiance, or even if you're switching allegiance before you get called to the national team. It's not every Tom, Dick, and Harry that switches his allegiance and then we go and call the person. You should be performing. Look at Chinwapom. At some point, yes, a true backbone. The guy from Ajax, Middlesbrough, I think, he was scoring, but he wasn't called up. So we need these players to be performing regularly. Consistency is what we want. It's not when we give you call up, you will not be playing. You sit on the bench for a very long time, and so we should have a minimum criteria before we can start giving these players call up, so that it doesn't become at the detriment of players that are born and bred in Nigeria. So for me, I feel we should look at developing the leagues and giving the home-based players that chance, even if it's 2-3 players in the national team. Because you look at it, if we keep doing this, bringing the players from outside Nigeria that switches allegiance, we might not be seeing the next Victor Osimhen. Because Victor Osimhen, what's it called now? Chukwueze, all came from the MPFL, the product of the MPFL, whether we like it or not. So if we start doing that, what are the plans for the home-based players? That remains my question.
Now, Osas, it's true. Chelsea is looking to rebuild with dual nationals. We already have William Osula. They are looking at Michael Coyote. They are also looking at Femi Aziz has already switched. We have Out of Concourse switch. David also has switched to as well. Now, is it smart long term? Is it a smart strategy long term? Or Benjamin has already talked about the cost. It comes about developing homegrown NPFL talent. But I'm also looking at it as we could have a team like the France national team, where you have seen many of them, when you dig into their roots, they could have been playing for different countries, but they're playing in that France squad, and look how strong that France squad is. They're delivering results. At the end of the day, it's a result that matters. So should we look at the positives or the negatives, or is there a way to really balance it out when you look at the dual nationals? Because you have to look at Femi Aziz joining the team is a great addition to that right wing that we have there. You have to look at Michael Cardi, if he does come in, a great addition to the defense. So you have to Conco, a great addition to the goalkeeping aspect. David also to a great addition to. And you also look at these guys are young, fresh. William Osula, imagine if he joins now, another great addition to the team. Yes, and then you have to look at the NPFL teams. Yes, we have NPFL teams. We still have players that from the NPFL have made it to Europe, and we still call them. So should we be looking at the NPFL, or look at the guys that have made it out of the NPFL, gone outside, or made it from the under 17, under 18, gone outside and made it in for themselves in European teams? That's what. Look at Victor Osimhen, look at Samuel Chukwueze, and the rest went from the under 17, went to Europe and dominated, made it in for themselves. And now they are top in Europe, unlike the rest that have the Osula, the Okonkwo, and the rest that have grown right there on foreign land.
What we should be looking at is getting the best legs for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I don't care if it's from the MPFL.
Exactly.
I don't care if it's from players from diaspora, players with Nigerian descent, players anywhere. Even the doors are open to foreigners who most likely would even want to switch allegiance, maybe not really having little or no connection to Nigeria, and we just want to switch. To me, I think the doors are even open. What we should be looking at is performance. Who can give optimal performance? Good enough, Benjamin. There are some persons.
Go for this kind of players.
There are some persons who cut it for Samal, some persons who cut it for Uzbekistan, that will still look at the Super Eagles as being a bigger brand.
Yes.
And we want to come over.
Look at that striker that plays for Benin Republic. That nine. Is it
what's that his name? He plays in the Turkish Super League also.
Yeah.
The Nigerian.
He said he couldn't make it to the Nigerian team. Now, that is a whole different standing, unlike these other ones that I could not make it to the Albanian national team. I could not make it to the Turkish national team. I could not make it to the Kazakhstan national team. I could not make it to which other maybe small nation you want to talk about, the national team. But the Super Eagles look like, okay, it's a whole different continent to dominate. It's a whole African continent that I can dominate in.
Yeah, you're talking about is Junior Olaiton
Yes.
Ishola. Yeah, would have done it or played for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, but couldn't cut it in and decided to do it for the Republic of Benin. That I'll call them Benin Republic there. So, but the truth is, as I said before, Ovie, listen, is what you bring to the table. I'm very happy with all of these things because what it simply means is that there is an upgrade in standard for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and that is what every one of us wants to see. Let the level of the Super Eagles of Nigeria rise. Michael Kayode coming into the Super Eagles brings that formidability in the defense line. Do not forget that the man we depend on right now, Calvin Bassey, was not born and bred here. Do you get that? The one he took over shift. In the early 90s, it used to be players from here coming from the MPFL sides. Then MPFL had huge quality, a quality that could attract global view, that could attract. We had scouts come to the MPFL and take players, scout players. The likes of Peter Odewingi was scouted from Bendel Insurance. He moved from Bendel Insurance out. JJ Okocha, Enugu Rangers. We had these players move from here out. So it wasn't a case of what we have right now in the Nigerian Premier Football League where we are not producing. Rather, what's happening is that players are moving from academies out rather than from the MPFL out, because the MPFL has now become a saturated system where players just continue to roam within, get themselves into salary earning system, just like the civil service. Some of them now these days don't even want an opportunity for the younger ones to come. They just want to remain there, continue floating. Maybe if they can get trials in Cyprus, Israel, Latvia, they go for it. If they cannot cut it, they come back. Iraq, they come back to it. In the UAE, they come back to it, and they stay within that way. So it's no longer the MPFL. So we cannot continue clamoring. Let the MPFL develop on its own. But for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, it must continue to move forward. Whether we have players from the MPFL or the players are coming from players outside, they are Nigerians. They have equal rights as those who were born and bred here. We'll have some numbers, a fraction that will still spring up from here. The likes of Victor Osimhen sprang up from right here. The likes of Wilfred Ndidi, the likes of Samuel Chukwueze, they did all spring up from here, and it has not stopped. Ebenezer Akinsumiru sprang from here. We still have many other players. What's his name? The man at Trabzonspor. No, not Paul Anacho. Winwu. Chibike Winwu also did come like that. Frederick Benjamin did come like. So it will not stop. We'll still have players from here that will come. But what I am aiming at is, let the level of the Super Eagles continue to rise. Whether it is due to the influx of players from outside or the influx of players from the Nigerian Premier Football League, what we care about basically is the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That does not mean that we should take our eyes away from the Nigerian Premier Football League, because what the MPFL would do is to bring some sort of competition to those coming from outside. Yes, they are coming from a better playing ground. They've got better facilities. They've got better training regimen.
So how is it a competition?
Now, we've got those coming from the MPFL that also have what they present, which is they've got first-hand knowledge of how African football should be. They've got the strength. You know, when you come deep from Nigeria and you survive, these days they say it's a miracle to go out in Nigeria and come back home alive. So if you come through all of this, you'll definitely be a fighter. So that strength is there. In quotes, that thing we call the Nigerian spirit lies in everyone that is developed right here in Nigeria. So they bring it to the stage as competition. So it's like iron sharpening iron. So in as much as the players from outside are very important to the team. The ones from the Nigerian Premier Football League.
But that Nigerian style you're talking about, don't you think we've left it? That pressing, that strength.
I'm not talking about.
the kind of
I'm not talking about
football and the
playing.
rest.
I'm not talking about playing strength football, physical based football. What I'm saying is that
Is it
whichever
mental?
style we have gone to, you still need a smooth blend of both understandings. Those coming from outside will definitely be coming with something different, something strange to the African kind of football. Those coming from Nigeria will definitely be coming with what African football looks like. So when they get together, playing together, you bring yours, I bring mine. We mend it, we blend it, and we become the best. Is what is happening. There is a rub-off on so many Nigerian players who came from here, who have found themselves in the Nigerian Premier Football League. We've seen a rub-off on many of them. Yes, Amaso Basogie had his breakthrough after reaching through to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He's definitely going to be telling you that it has impacted on his gameplay. We've had other ones who came in and have seen some changes due to that. So that's what I'm saying. Both sides are needed, but we shouldn't put one ahead of the other. If the Super Eagles of Nigeria tomorrow becomes a team Arsenal almost getting
a chance there.
Leandro
That was
Trossard
Trossard.
with that one. All right, so if the Super Eagles have now become a team of players from outside, so be it, as far as they are performing well. If it's also a team of MPFL players all through, so be it, as far as they are performing well. What we want is the optimal performance of the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
08109510951. That's for the phone line. For the SMS and the WhatsApp portal is 0701933996. For the phone line 081095100951. Super Eagles, Eric Chell calling up lots of foreign-based players and many of them switching allegiance or to Nigeria. Femi Aziz, David Ozo, Ato Okonkwo. They're also looking at Michael Coyote, William Osula, Odegoke. Lots of names to be added to the Nigerian squad. But some have said it's bring disadvantages to the Nigeria Premier Football League players. Some have said, who cares? As long as Nigeria are getting the results. I'm looking at a kind of France setup where many of the players have roots to other countries, but still the best legs that could possibly dominate African football. What's your thoughts on that? 0810-9510-951 for the SMS and the WhatsApp portal to 0701933996. Arsenal and Fulham on our screens. For Arsenal, they set up in a 4-2-3-1 formation. David Raya in between the sticks. For the pairing at the back, centre back pairing, we've got William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. On left back is Ricardo Calafiori. On the right back is Ben White. In the defensive midfield, our double pivot, we've got Declan Rice and Miles Lewis Skelly. On the left wing is Leandro Trossard, and on the right wing is Bukayo Saka. Playing right behind the striker is Ibrichi Eze, and the striker in Victor Gyökeres. For Fulham, they set up in a 4-2-3-1 formation as well. The centre-back pairing of Calvin Bassey and Joachim Anderson. On left back, we have Antonio Robertson. On right back is Timothy Castagni. And in the double pivots, we've got Harrison Reed and Sasa Lukic. On the left wing, it's Samuel Chukwueze. In the right wing, it's Harry Wilson playing right behind the striker, Smith Rowe. The striker in question is Raul Jimenez. And Arsenal's deep bench consists of Kepa Arrizabalaga, Christian Mosquera, Piero Hincapi, Christian Nogard, Martin Zubimendi, Max Dolman, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, and Noni Madueke. For Fulham, their bench, they've got Benjamin Lecomte, Kenny Tete, George Coensa, Issa Diop, Tom Carney, Oscar Bob, Joshua King, Rodrigo Muniz, and Jonah Kusi Asari. Zero 0701-933-9962. Benjamin, Arsenal, Fulham on our screens. Call it. Arsenal haven't lost to Fulham at home in the last 30 or so games. So they've got the upper hand there. But with the pressure of the title race, would they buckle under the pressure playing against this Fulham side? Sorry.
Well, Marco Silva's side have been very, troublesome when it comes to playing against the big teams. They've shown it over this few seasons now. They would give you that needed trouble, especially the back line, Calvin Bassey fit again, lots of players there that would get Alex Iwobi out of the tie because of that injury he sustained in the previous game. So I feel that the record is favourable to Arsenal. Arsenal haven't lost to Fulham the last 30 games plus against Fulham at the Emirates. So I feel that at this point in time, it's going to be Arsenal getting this one, just like we saw against Newcastle. Might be a narrow victory for Arsenal, but at the end of the day, is what is there is just that Arsenal will get to grind this one. I don't think, the title race will be there to put pressure on them, especially, and you're playing against in midweek, you're playing against what's it called now, Atletico de Madrid. How tough that game is. Playing against Atletico Madrid any day, anytime, it's going to be it's going to be a hectic tie. But again, I see Arsenal going through on this one, a slim win that is, because the game is going to be tough. Fulham, they are 10th on the table, trying to go up the table 2 points to 2 point adrift of 6th position. So they'll be trying to get this one over, but Arsenal gets this one. Slim victory.
A slim victory for Arsenal. What's your thoughts on that? 08109510951 for the SMS and the WhatsApp portal. It's 070193399962. An influx of players switching allegiance to Nigeria to play for the Super Eagles. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Some have said it doesn't matter. They don't care. It affects the NPFL players as long as Nigeria is getting the win and Arsenal have gotten the goal. Victor Gyökeres putting the ball at the back of the net. We'll take a look at how they did score that goal. But it's 1-0 at the Emirates, 1-0 at the Emirates. Arsenal 8 minutes on the clock. This is stuff of champions, as some would say. Victor Gyökeres scoring the number on his shirt. His 14th goal for Arsenal in all competitions. It's he reached that mark.
But a beautiful one there from Bukayo Saka. This is one of the reasons why I've always clamored to have this man return, because since his absence, it's been indecisiveness from the wings for Arsenal. But he has come back now to bring that decisive touch to Arsenal's wing play. You could see how he took out Raul Jimenez in just in a blink of an eye. Raul Jimenez now became a pedestrian, and he was able to pick out Victor Gyökeres right there in the 6-yard box to tuck that one in. And what a way to start as early as the 9th minute of this encounter. Arsenal has gone forward, so it's now one job: how do you keep yourself ahead?
The first goal in open play in a very, very long time.
Yes, it's the first goal in open play. It's no longer the set piece FC as being touted for some time now, and we are beginning to see that some of the other players who have not been taking part in the entire Arsenal dance are actually very instrumental. They are as instrumental as those who have always been regular. They're the likes of Miles Lewis Skelly, the likes of Ricardo Calafiori. They have all stepped in and doing it pretty well at this point. And let's see how it goes. As well said, let's let Arsenal keep getting every maximum point and moving ahead and see if things would turn differently.
Arsenal extend their lead at the top of the English Premier League table to 6 points, although you say City still have 2 games to play for and it could turn out, but 2 games at hand is never 6 points in the bag. Over in the Spanish La Liga, Alaves have gotten a goal as well too in the 8th minute against Athletic Club. That was by Antonio Blanco. 39 minutes on the clock in the Italian Serie A in the center. Como take on Napoli. In the German Bundesliga, 11 minutes on the clock. Leverkusen against Leipzig. No goals to report from that center. Paris Saint-Germain are holding their own against Lorient. It's 2-2, 85 minutes on the clock. 08109510951 and 0701933996 to take a look at the NPFL and their own title race and see if Enugu Rangers or maybe Rivers United could hold steadfast. 3 games left. They could be crowning a champion after those 3 matches. 081095109510701933996. Also, as a quick one, Arsenal Fulham. How do you see this match ending? Arsenal have gotten the first goal. Could they be adding more? Could Fulham equalize later on? But before I do that, let me answer this caller. Hello, caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Today FM.
Yes, this is
Chibuzo calling from Elios.
Chibuzo, give us your thoughts.
About Super Eagles players, even though they like maybe they go for Gavanchan or Pakistan, as far as they go feed the win trophy for Super Eagles, I will be okay. No matter say I don't like what Nigeria clubs they do, but I want them, whether you carry them from Germany, Spain, anywhere, let them be winning trophy for us. And I want to comment about Arsenal. I think I will not be happy if Arsenal win any trophy this season. You know, I want them try more. I will, as a chasing man, I won't like Arsenal to win anything for this season. That is my take. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know. Someone tears is giving you joy.
I really don't know. That's it. And the funny thing is,
someone's failure is your success.
And the funny thing is that these are persons that share the same principle, or call that the same province with us now. It's a London thing. But the blue side, they agree. It is a bit hit way. But it's normal. It's normal. That's the banter that comes with football. But the truth is, banter doesn't actually determine or decide what happens. It's the activity on the pitch of play that decides what happens. And right now, Arsenal are leading. It looks like if it ends this way, it's going to be 3 points in the bag, but a lot of work is still here to be done. It's the early stages of this game. 13 just called that 14 minutes of play right there, and Trossard has been trying as much as possible to see if he can hit something from outside the box. He did one the other time. He just went past the far post, and the same with this one. Who knows? Keep trying. Maybe the next would get in. But Arsenal hoping to still see if they could add one more, make it a comfortable one over there at the Emirates Stadium. It's lots of work because you also have to keep Fulham at bay. Fulham, a very, very well articulated side under Marco Silva. Do not forget that the likes of Raul Jimenez are very lethal in front of a goal. We have, what's his name, the former Liverpool man, also he's there. And so much of firepower they've got in themselves. And if you're not really careful...
I didn't expect Arsenal to be this straightforward from the start. It looks like it's different.
The only problem that they've had is inability to create, and of recent inability to hold steadfast to leads that they've got. If not, Arsenal has always been straightforward. They usually don't go on the back foot anytime they come up against teams. At least thanks to the fact that they've got a robust squad depth and they've got quality within the squad, and that's what has kept them always in front right there. So it's one and the same. Yeah, how to keep this game in check is what Arsenal should be thinking of at this point.
All right, 08109510951 for the SMS and the WhatsApp portal. It's 070193399962. An influx of Super Eagles players, all from foreign land, as you want to call them. William Musula being looked at, Maki Coyote being looked at as well. Where do you have Femi Aziz, David Ozo switching allegiance all to Nigeria? We might see them feature in the Unity Cup, but some have said what happens to the MPFL talent. What happens to our homegrown talent? Some have said, I don't care. Let them be coming. Let them come as long as we get the titles. Hello, caller. Good evening and welcome to today's Sports Live.
Yeah.
Yes, please turn on the volume. Yeah, Kabulabari.
It no matter anywhere where those players they come from. Because if they look for Nigeria football this time, I say we'll carry players from this our NPFL. That's one. And they say we know we. For some years, we qualify for World Cup or even Nations Cup because the people who they run our football, and just they use us, they play. They carry our money, they feed themselves, so then they run football for Nigeria. I hear midweek, say women, then they get their league match. Now only when they want to play their match, now their league fixture, they come out. So that kind of country, now you go think say football day. Football no day. So anywhere where those people come from, once their papa from Nigeria, that one, get problem. Maybe they can't pray for us until maybe when God don't bring people, we will run our football, make we get help for football for Nigeria. We still talk about home base, even not for now. Then they carry home base matter, come up for waiting their for Nigeria football. Make those boys from outside come play. Thank you.
All right, 08109510951. Arsenal on the ascendant again. Victoria Curse dispossessed, and that's Calvin Bassey dispossessing him. And it takes a long shot, a long pass up front, and that'll be going out for a throw-in for Arsenal. That looks like Ben White with the ball, and he looks for who to give that short pass, or maybe he'll be going for a long one. Bukayo Saka on the wings. 08109510951 for the SMS on the WhatsApp was 0701933996 18 minutes on the clock. Arsenal fans, does it look like 3 points in the bag, 6 points at the top of the table? City, or the pressure is now left for City to try and play catch up once again, and they keep on applying the pressure, they keep on pressing. Will Fulham's defense crack once again? Well, but then I have to look at that pass again from Bukayo Saka. He left Muniz in the dirt, teaching the man how to do yoga. Teaching him how to.
Muniz?
Yeah.
Was that Muniz?
Jimenez.
That was Raul Jimenez.
Raul Jimenez.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching
Raul
Jimenez how to do yoga.
It's the beauty that comes with having a man like Bukayo Saka. Yes. He brings that confidence to the flank play right there for Arsenal. And yeah, good enough at this point. Arsenal has got him back. I've also got Noni Madueke in good form. The focus right now will be having these guys bring optimal performance in the game against Atletico de Madrid. That should be on Tuesday. That's exactly what everyone will be looking forward to at this point. But let's see how it goes. Arsenal continue to put in good performances. That's the only way you can guarantee that you get something out of this season.
All right, the NPFL resumes tomorrow, returns tomorrow, and the clash for the top spots intensifies. Barra FC take on the Academy Warriors. Bayelsa United will take on Enugu Rangers. Bendel Insurance will welcome Katsina United. It's going to be the big derby in Yiba United against Remo Stars. And you're looking at that match. Victor Mboma from Remo to Yimba and now to Remo Stars. It's going to be a big one for the man. He scored lots of goals And then Warri Wolves will take on a Plateau United. And then on a Sunday, there's going to be the big clash. Chelsea taking on Nottingham Forest in the English Premier League. Everton will take on Manchester City. And on Monday or Tuesday, we're going to have... Or Monday, yeah, we're going to have... Or Tuesday, sorry, we're going to have Victory City take on the Wiki Tories. And then the UEFA Champions League match ball. Big matches to play tomorrow as well too. On Sunday is going to be Manchester United against Liverpool, Bournemouth against Crystal Palace, and Aston Villa against Tottenham Hotspur. But before that, the Nigerian Premier Football Federation has announced that the playoff round of this year's President Federation Cup begins on Wednesday, May 6th, across multiple venues nationwide, both men's and women's categories kicking off simultaneously. In the men's draw, notable ties include G12 FC versus Dokal Cairo FC at the MKO Abiola Sports Arena in Abeokuta. Sunshine Stars under 19 versus Harmony FC in Oshogbo. Westgate FC versus Amanda FC in Enugu, and Adamawa Academy versus El Kanemi Junior in Bauchi. On the women's side, NAF Queens clash with Model Queens FC of Kwara. Kada Queens face Mighty Jets, Mata FC, and Bayelsa Princesses take on Ikukoma Queens of Imo. The playoff round is the gateway to the main draw of Nigeria's oldest domestic football tournament. Zero 08109510955 when you can call in on the conversation. Oh, Arsenal versus Fulham match. What's your predictions for the match? How do you see it turning out? Arsenal getting the first goal via Gyökeres, smooth tapping from the man, assisted by Bukayo Saka after leaving Raul Jimenez in the door stand. Arsenal are looking to be taking all 3 points at the Emirates and looking to be 6 points clear at the top of the table. Also, Eric Chell has put his criterion for players to be scouted from the NPFL, saying they must be under 23 or 23 or under and must know how to press up the pitch, have the strength to play as well. And speaking of that, you look at the scouts or the scouting job he's done over in Europe and the players that have switched their allegiance over to Nigeria. Femi Aziz, man scored 2 goals today, has made that switch to the Super Eagles. We could see him feature in the Unity Cup. David also as well too has made that switch. He's on loan from Crystal Palace since he plays in MK Dons. You just have to look at Aton Koko making that switch. Could we see all these players feature in the Unity Cup when it does come? And do you welcome these changes? Is it a disadvantage or an advantage for Nigeria having an influx of foreign-based players into the Super Eagles? Some said they won't understand how the Super Eagles play. They will not understand the culture. Some say, can they play for the badge as we have the ones from the NPFL, the ones that have made it from the NPFL, if they do get called up to the squad? Some have said it will affect the growth of homegrown talent. But does any of this really matter? 5107019339962, and Arsenal have a chance there to make it 2 goals to 0. The ball is in play in Fulham's, and they've taken it out for throwing. A chance for Arsenal to make it 2 goals to 1, and with that, we call it we close the curtains on this edition of Today Sports Live Marathon Edition on Saturday, 2nd of May 2026. Till then, I say enjoy the rest of your day. We'll have the news updates at 6 coming up next. But before that, paid in advert, and Arsenal will have a chance to make it 2. And Bukayo just shooting the ball wide off the net. And as I've said, we've got to close the curtains. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. to 6 to do it all again on the Marathon Edition on Sunday. I am Movie Wallace. I can also be called the Sports Chef. I did a show with Osase Hinwi and also Benjamin Mina, also having Chikazi with me, Henry Ogugo, and the first part as well, to give you guys the best of sports you can find anywhere in the South. Enjoy the rest of the programming and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Looking to grow your business?
Ready to elevate your brand and reach the right audience? This is your moment to take your brand to the next level with Today 95.1 FM.
Your trusted voice, reaching thousands of listeners every single day.
From startups to established brands, we create powerful advertising solutions that boost your visibility and drive real
maximum visibility.
Goza Football Academy Open Trial 2026. Are you a young talented footballer with dreams of playing on the biggest stages in Europe and beyond? Then this is your opportunity to achieve it. Goza Football Academy, a leading football academy in Port Harcourt, is scouting for exceptional young players to train and develop into future international stars. Trial categories: under 10 to 12, under 13 to 15, under 16 to 18. Trial schedule and venues: Monday 4th of May, it will be at Rumemege Secondary School Field. Time 3 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday, 5th and 6th of May. It will be at St. Andrews Primary School Field, Maiwan, Port Harcourt, all in Port Harcourt City Local Government area of Rivers State. Why join Gozo? Professional training and development, exposure to international opportunities, pathway to Europe, and top global league. For inquiry, call or WhatsApp us on 0816 729 6181 or +971